amen, sing hallelujah. For the first 2 minutes.
Simple enough.
That's all.
Simple
But
enough.
that's a great song. That's the first time I heard it.
Short message.
I love it. I mean, it sounds like Nyabingi from Culture. I mean, if you're a reggae person, you know what I'm talking about. Nyabingi is the kind of music where they play to get into the mood. Doom, doom, chaka, chaka, doom, doom. You know? Doom, doom, chaka, chaka, doom, doom. You got it. Doom, doom. Charlie, powerful music. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
And thanks for joining us for breakfast on GTV.
Yes,
Sizzling helpings of breakfast a la carte.
Yes.
This Dan Votra said, what's the, people ask me all this, it means on your plate.
One time.
So it's French for on your plate.
Dan Votra
assiette. So yes. I've answered that question today. Thanks for joining us for breakfast on GTV. And boy, what a show we have for you.
Yes, today's World Heart Day. And Thelma was down with a heart doctor to talk about heart issues. But our hearts were broken yesterday with the passing of a great legend, the legendary high life musician, Nana Kwame Ampedu, who passed yesterday at the age of 76. And I still remember songs from my youth. Agate, and when Agatha was a lollipop. So, yeah, that we used to lick quite nicely when we were young.
Just mispronounce somebody's Agata.
Agata. Oh, he has great music. And,
legendary. Seriously, a huge loss to the country and
Indeed.
everybody who loves high life music. A huge loss to the Obra community. So, all the people who worked with him during his heydays and even in his latter years, he was still very vibrant and active.
Yes.
I at least expected. I mean, that's inevitable, but yesterday was indeed a sad one.
And I met him 3 years ago at a program at Burma Camp, and he was just so powerful on the vocals. And at some point in time, he just took over the congas, and it was just hitting the congas and just a great guy. Oh, Charlie. Pam, pam. May he rest in peace.
Indeed. Val, what do you have for us?
Well, good morning from this side of the breakfast table. You know, when COVID setting and the pandemic setting, in as much as the hospitality sector lost greatly, the other sector that lost greatly as well and suffered, the creative arts sector. And here in Ghana, we're just about raising, bringing back the love for cinemas and trying to inculcate theater and all that. And then COVID came, and then we suffered big losses. So Silverbird is bouncing back, and we're going to be having a discussion about how they're trying to revive going back to the cinemas in a safe way. And then also we'll be keeping an eye on certain parts of the capital with Alan and Jay later on. And then also you can send in your comments and your conversation, your submissions to our WhatsApp number 055-5561034. So that's all from my side of things, guys.
And we'll have a recap of our chat with Kwame Nkrumah's cinematographer, because September is still with us. We're still remembering, we are still honoring the memory of Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So we'll have a recap. We'll revisit that sit down we had with his cinematographer. Of course, the Minerals Commission will be here as they always are on Wednesday mornings at 8, and we'll be looking at the health and safety regulations in the mining industry.
I'm just enjoying your profile. So as I'm talking, I'm looking at your profile like that, you know. Did you ever watch movies in these old-time cinemas?
Plaza was very close to me when I was growing up. It was the closest cinema to me.
Where's
so
Plaza?
We went there. It's Mamprobi, around the Martyrs of Uganda area. So Mamprobi
really?
Post office.
Oh, there was a cinema there?
Yeah, the Plaza Cinema, very popular. Right across the street from where you used to be in the Park. Yeah. So Christmas time there would be like Ferris wheels and shisho.
Shisho.
Yeah.
Is this shisho or shisho?
It's shisho.
Shisho.
Yeah, ruining it. Yes.
Shisho up and down.
They will bring all those things. So we'll go there. But Plaza was just across. I remember I saw Diabolo from there. I saw Agege Spirits from there. No. But you know, back in the day, if your mom is going to the cinema, there's nobody at home.
So they take you there.
So I saw a few of the old classics from Plaza Cinema. So I love.
You're a cinema chick. I love
theater.
I used to look at Chinese movies. You killed my father. Let's fight.
I loved the Chinese ones and the Indian ones because you never understood the word of what they said.
And then they
but
start singing.
There were always these really elderly women there who understood the story perfectly. So as you are watching, they are
just telling for you. I like the Chinese movies. Osu Cinema. There was some serious killing outside at Osu Cinema. Charlie, you know, be small.
Really, you are talking about killing.
Yeah,
guys.
breakfast.
Let's settle into the breakfast and let's start off right with our wisdom nugget. And today we're talking about the seasons of life and Dr.
Kofi Osei Kusi. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
It's a good morning to you. So exciting and so humbling for me to bring you the wisdom nugget for the day. And nugget a day keeps all the problems away. Thank you for watching the wisdom nugget. Today we're talking about the seasons of life. You know, just like the natural seasons that we encounter on a day-to-day, week-by-week, year-by-year basis, so is life. There are times when we have to go through the dry season, isn't it? There are times when we have to go to the Hamatan. Our lips become dry, you know, everything is so dry. And there are times when we have to go through the rainy season, the wet season. And guess what? That is how real life is like as well. There are times where you're going through the dry season of life. It may be the dryness of your finances, dryness in your career, dryness in relationships. One thing you should keep in mind is that seasons are never permanent. They are going to come to pass. So if you're going through a dry season in your life right now, encourage yourself because that season is going to come to pass. Look ahead for the great season that is ahead of you. And also sometimes you may be going through the wet season. And the wet season may be a great season where everything is working. Or the wet season could be that season where you're wetting yourself with tears. You're crying over some broken relationship. You're crying over something that is broken in your life. If you're in a time in that season of your life where things are broken and you're wetting yourself with tears, remember that as well. Maybe you lost a loved one, perhaps as a result of COVID. It's time to encourage yourself that this season is also going to come to pass. You need to look beyond the seasons. If you're going to struggling in a difficult season, just to remember that a better season is ahead of you. So as you go through today, no matter the season you find yourself, remember that a better season is ahead of you. Ask yourself, what can you learn out of this season? And encourage yourself and look forward to the best of seasons that are ahead of you. Enjoy your day. Have a brilliant day. And remember that great times and great seasons are still ahead of you. I'll see you again on the Wisdom Nugget for the day.
Yes, thanks for staying on, and we'll look into our social media trends now. As we said at the start of the program, yesterday Ghana lost a high life legend, Nana Kwame Ampedu, and he passed away after a short illness. He was the leader of the African Brothers Band formed in 1963, a prolific songwriter who wrote thought-provoking songs, many of which have endured till today. Some of his popular songs include Obra, which became the theme song for the Akan drama series on GTV on Sundays, Omambo Ajo, Kofin Krabia, Yaobeku, so many more from this legend, Nana Ampedu, guys.
Yeah, I met him personally, and he was such a wonderful man, great to talk to, very philosophical, and all that philosophy seeped into his music. His music was full of proverbs. You know, when I was growing up, I didn't understand why one song could have like 20 proverbs in it. You know, and I actually remember writing.
Actually, every line.
Yeah, I remember writing a piece which was published in West Africa years ago. I was wondering, in my ignorance, why a song should have so many proverbs. And now I know, as an older person, that the songs are not just for entertainment; it's also for education. So it's edutainment. He's educating you, and he's entertaining you as well, and telling you about life and how to live a great life. And then just issues, life and death. He wrote a lot of songs around a year. And he was really in his element. Really good songs that tug at people's heartstrings.
I think is an end of an era.
It is. Well, let's find out if one of the men who worked very closely with Nana Mpedu feels the same way. Nana Mankwa Mpofo. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. I don't know if we are still connected, if we still have contact with Amankwa Mpofo. He's joining us to share thoughts on the passing of his colleague. They worked really closely together, even on GTV's Akan drama series. For me, I think it was the song that registered with me as a young child, even before the legend behind the song became known to me. So we are remembering Nana Mpedu today, and Amankwa Mpofo joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nana, I say no idea ante asempa. What do you feel? How do you feel about your dear friend's passing?
Very bad, because for a long time I've not been seeing unless he was sick. So
I understand that it must be a very challenging time for you. Would you care to share some of your memories of him, of working with him, of being a part of his life in general?
Oh yes, when I was in GPC, he was a good friend. I used to play some of his music, and I used to interview him. I still have some of his interviews in my archives.
What kind of man would you say he was, for someone who interacted very closely with him?
Can they come out?
I'm asking what kind of man you would say Nana Mpedu was to the people who knew him closely.
A very lively man, and very friendly. And he likes people.
How would you remember him?
I remember him when Bob Cool died. Bob Cool died. He was then playing at the funeral of Bob Cool, and he was asked. He was able to compose the song immediately on the funeral. That's something I liked about him. And you just, we all join him.
What do you think today's generation of musicians can learn from persons like Nana Mpedu?
He's very creative. That is something we can learn from him. And he doesn't want, he's a peacemaker. He's a peacemaker. Anything that will turn into a fight, he will just bring it down. And it's that type. He doesn't want any violence anywhere. That's what I learned from him.
Right. Thank you for sharing some of your memories of him with us.
Thank you.
And we wish you well. Accept our condolences on our loss, collective loss as a country, but for you as a personal friend.
Thank you.
Our condolences this morning going out officially to the family and close friends of Nana Kwame Mpedu, who passed away yesterday. So the theme song you're hearing in the background, Obra, is one of the classics of that legendary high life musician. Are you going to share some thoughts?
Yes, I'm saying the reason I said that I think that this is an end to an era is that you realize that on Twitter, I don't know the trends for you, but on my trends, he's not, Nana Kwame Ampedu is not trending on Twitter.
He's on my trends.
He was trending yesterday.
Yes, but this morning he's not, and I looked at other young artists, other high life artists, lots of musicians, and then a lot of people haven't posted.
So
maybe they are
posted
still
him.
reeling.
I don't know if I believe
The
because
majority.
it's a verified account. So
Yes,
I'm
but the
seeing
majority-
Efia saying rest in peace. Your music will live forever. But I agree with you. I haven't seen. Maybe from the younger musicians, I don't follow a lot of them.
Yes, so I looked across, I looked at their social media handles and their pages, and I realized that a lot of them haven't posted him. Granted, maybe they're still reeling from it, so maybe today they will, but that's why I'm saying it is an end to an era, because hey, it's Nana Kwame Ampedu, and it's really sad. I think, like, I'm feeling sad that the young ones are not like eulogizing him like they should. I mean, this morning he should be the top on the trends. And then also,
I think some people may have been thrown off when there were some reports from certain quarters that it was a hoax. So maybe people were being cautiously, proper, so that they don't offend.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't upset other people. So I'm only guessing here. So
yeah,
it's just a speculation.
Yes. So they have the whole of today to eulogize, and come on, he's done a lot for Ghana. And then also on his Wikipedia profile as well. Do you know that he composed a song for the NDC?
I just found out about that.
Yes.
And then I also found out that in 2008, he also did something for the NPP. And he unveiled a song like that for them. We Like Am So, a song that demonstrated his sympathy for the NPP. So he was just, and then even way before that, there was a song that he composed back in the 60s, which was critical of the then governing National Liberation Council, which handed over to Buzia. So there's a lot going on. He was a big trend yesterday. Yesterday it was like number 1, number 2.
Yes.
But then Champions League came and then displaced that trend. He's number 15 now on my timeline. Okay. But just to tell you that you want to tune in to Unique FM 95.7 this morning from 10:30 to midday. 90 solid minutes of a musical tribute in honor of the legend Nana Kwame Ampedu. So 95.7 Unique FM from 10:30 to noon. It's a musical tribute on the mid-morning drive. May he rest in peace, and we send our condolences to his family. Beautiful music in the background. Of course, back then there was only TTV who would play this song as part of the theme tune.
Yeah.
Theme tune for Obra. We were the only station back then.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
Station of the nation, still the station of the nation. So top trends, a sad one for music lovers, high life lovers in Ghana. Exciting night for the Champions League lovers, and so the action returned across various centres with the UEFA Champions League, and let me just leave it to those who are just ready. They've been messaging me since last night.
I heard the goal was good, so let's see the goal. Let's see the Messi goal.
I'm just going to be quiet. I'll talk. Somehow will have a field day today.
Let's see what happens. Oh, nice. Oh, beautiful.
From behind the 20-yard box, guys. It's not a tapping.
The back heel was
it's not a tapping.
No, the assist was serious.
And he's crazy about, and he points at the one who gives him the assist. He points at Mbappe and says, "You set this up."
Too early
Pure
for shade.
class.
Too early for shade.
Pure class.
Too early for shade.
Pure class. Pure class.
No, the assist was powerful. Who gave the assist, man?
Mbappe, man. Mbappe.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Follow her.
Here she goes. She's about to go on.
Follow it.
Messi, what?
So no shade. I seriously don't understand why people want to pit one camp against the other. Can we just breathe in the fact that we are blessed to be alive at a time when both great players are playing at their peak?
No.
Like, for me, it's just, wow, mind-blowing. Don't pit one against the other, but
whatever you say.
We all know who my goat is, so I'm not even going to get it. But big wins also for Liverpool. 5 goals. Yeah. Five. All the Liverpool fans are excited. Akushka Akwe, good morning.
They caught Porto and whipped them again.
Hey,
the last time it was 5-1.
Porto has never, please.
No, 5-1.
Liverpool said, okay, Porto. 5 goals. Silence them.
Charlie.
Just left them there.
Wow.
So I can't even see the thing because of my bad eyes.
For you, no
so let's just go through some of the score lines.
Mm-hmm. The scores are there. Everybody, they're saying it. Yeah. So it was a good night. Inter Milan, it was a goalless draw there. They didn't score any goals. Of course, PSG beat Man City, and it was a good night for football.
It was a good night for football, and I think that for everyone who because of COVID, we did not see fans in the stands for about a year now, to have the fans back in the stadium, it just adds to the whole euphoria. And with the football fans, we are loving it. We are loving it. We can't get enough. And the action returns tonight across other centers. We'll see if others also put up spirited performances, or if they don't, or if they just tap in goals. We know, Bo. We know, Bo. We know, Bo. I'm not shading.
Why are you shading us like that?
At the end of the day, the bottom line is we are enjoying beautiful football and we are looking forward to seeing so much more happening with regards to the Champions League and the action returns, as I said, tonight. Remember, we'll have a sit down with a doctor on heart diseases. So if you love football, you probably need to check your heart. You know, don't want the heart to break and give up on you. But whilst we wait for football tonight, we are also waiting for Monday night at 8 p.m. on Lifestyle TV, when we premiere our brand new telenovela. Somebody said telenovela. Can you imagine? Like, Ghanaians are very, very innovative. So we are gearing up to start watching Two Hearts on Lifestyle TV. And again, here's a sneak peek.
Enipa opepepe nson ena wo wiase manyina obia so gidi yese oye son kokra na so hwehwe mu ade de se enipa nson ena ne onipa baakofo ese pepepe
manyina de na koso what's up good morning senka mini gidi wade we mu enkenya de amede de me wonyina eni adwumade ayaye nyina ebeto esan mu enche kwa ibesa bedi won kan biem
we are going to fish a down. Minim pass and a fish a down. A fish a pole. You can giant, yes, sir. Marinella, a bunch of Marinella, what do you want for one attacking business if you want? I didn't know about Marinella. Lisa, Moka and Shishano, and Shishana and I did 2 muno. Achane busuminsia. Awari ni baba so.
What? Papa be
misi kanyira na buso no.
Uka chere se sure banka. Papa me sure ye betua why?
Se wentia, me ko papa.
Me sure se betua. We dey nsem huna kwa.
Me no ye adwen.
Sisi ame wa brabo foforo.
Na minim kra se ni.
Share. Ade nti na wo se me pina ade we so. Ade LGC Eco bankrupt nti ana. Betimi aso we anu papa.
Esanse me na me kan.
Adia din power brabo emu and se obenya odofo a oye wo mfempade
we dey na ne na usra undi mona fire ai ready akwe hu etan
yadwen ko bankro mu ma ye ware na fe ye ntina mom
tie me mpese me ye wo yere.
Lifestyle TV and the romantic comedy Songo Kura Abrel.
Your friend Leo Tabayoyo. Hey, what you know? And yes, I'm
Jump. Oh, Mujambi mo.
Boss mom.
Sorry. Say, who be when you did pepper so swear.
It's not me no cray.
Two Hearts. Just say Lifestyle TV so
And that's the telenovela we're all gearing up to watch on Lifestyle TV on the 4th of October 2021 at 8 p.m. Guys.
Akumamienu. I just
Two
learned that
hearts,
from you.
yes. Akumamienu. Say it well.
Akumamienu.
Akumamienu.
And now let me teach you the ever.
Okay.
Ever. So complete, just ever.
It's good that the heart doctor is in the studio today because now we're doing 2 hearts and we haven't had 2 hearts.
How do you say it in Ghana? 2 hearts.
Chuyenyo.
French.
No idea. No idea. So I have only basic.
Our producer was about to say something, but I think he lost it. I think our producer knows how to say it in French.
Hey, it's not Danvotrasiet. Kofi, is it Danvotrasiet?
No, it's not.
So 2 hearts, premiering on October 4. So next Monday, and it's at 8 p.m. on Lifestyle TV. So scan if your TV, basic English say if your TV doesn't catch Lifestyle, scan it. It will catch it. So that we all watch it together, okay? One of the key themes is parenting, and we saw from the first episode that we have seen that you lot haven't. We are seeing lessons that we can learn as parents on how to bring children, so we don't intimidate them. We see Lisa, we see Dad being a bit strong and saying no.
But it happens in a Ghanaian setting where even you're in your 20s, early 30s, even your 40s, your mom or your dad can still stamp the authority, and you're like, it's like something
because mommy said so.
Yeah.
I said so.
Because daddy said so.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out and what lessons we can learn for our own parenting skills, our own guardianship skills.
Let me tell you, I said so. Hey.
You want me to say this so that I can go back home?
No, you're old enough now.
No.
In a Ghanaian home, you are never too old for your chastising.
Tell me.
Our parents don't speak. Our mothers, they do not speak. They have the eye. When you go somewhere and they have the eye and they just look at you and then
you guys should be on the chat room. After every episode, they should put you lot on so that we can all have, because there's a chat room where we'll all sit down and we won't discuss the fact that Real Madrid lost to some Sheriff team. I don't get why Madrid will lose to a Sheriff team. It's all 2 hearts. You see, it's Akumamienu, 1 heart for Real Madrid, 1 heart for Sheriff. So if they lose, the doctor is saying, put them back together. You see, so there's a chat room that will follow every episode that we see on Lifestyle TV starting Monday, and there we'll analyze into a bit more detail some of the lessons, some of the storylines that we'll see from the 2 hearts episode that we watch for any particular day, and we hope that you'll be a part of that as well. Remember to follow Lifestyle TV on the social media handles so that you can get everything possible from this new telenovela that we are premiering on Monday. Remember, as you follow Lifestyle TV, follow GBC as well across social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. Look, we are everywhere. So even though we are making you late for work, you can just grab your phone, grab your gadgets, tab, iPad, laptop, and catch us on the go as you head out to go about your business. So our social media handles on your screen. Send your questions, comments, and thoughts on whatever subject we are discussing, and we'll read them out loud. If you have questions for our guests, we'll ask them for you as well. And so don't miss out on that. You can also interact with us via our WhatsApp line 055 55 61034 055 55 61034. So WhatsApp line is active now, so start sending your questions and comments. Very soon we'll have a sit down with a cardiologist and we'll talk about matters of the heart. So not 2 hearts, but still matters of the heart. And we look forward to catching you on that side of the table so that we serve you that bit of breakfast which focuses on your health and our health. Your well-being is important to us on GTV Breakfast. So we are grateful to our sponsors, Awake Mineral Water, Adonko Next Level Energy Drink, and Shield Acrylic Paint. And we'll be back to have the discussion with the doctor after the break.
What you be at there? 2 hearts telenovela. Campus by the cake.
Oh, yes. Baby, I'm more of a fiabo. Oh, the farm was here, said, what the family, huh? Who's on all by the Jewish? Hey, 2 hearts, dear, and 170. Hey, a bed or something. John. Just say, Bibi Yabaqua, Kaba. No Paquelegy. Never Kaba name product.
You watch a 2 Hearts telenovela. Maybe something sweet, not something fried, which is so we take a press when they go to me. In fact, so I'm saying, I'm sorry.
2 Hearts telenovela. Wow, should send your media konya bakoba de BA. Uma kwako kuse minye sikeni babu anana same papa wo sikebi wo baby na meda to say ah me bre say ya. Me fancy he ya. 2 Hearts telenovela. She say telenovela when you do mo anya ni ahwe koni bio. Of course, me semre o ha me. Of course, try to never start it just a time by.
Ya chance, Emma Mutray, Munya Butrema. Sini wa so bia lifestyle television dia bedwa so nya no mata na muke eye telenovela bia ye dia ba eni dwa so na opemu nsem pa etia di machine enko lifestyle chat room ye hwe sini ye wie no ehon ye ba betena se adwendwen ho ehu aba ye timi fa free sini mu enti mo ma ye konkohwe e wo lifestyle television so
2 Hearts
exclusively on Lifestyle Television. Lifestyle, it's life redefined.
Live from GBC.
How well do the adolescents understand reproductive?
Live from GBC Studio 1. This is the Breakfast Show. Live from GBC Studio 1. This is the Breakfast Show.
The star of Ghana, Nkrumah, star of Ghana, everybody toils of the
The masses of the people of Africa are crying for unity. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, whom we've been remembering this month of September at the GBC. So that's his quote for today. And it's setting us up very nicely to have that heart-to-heart conversation. When they say use hearts to connect, so not 2 Hearts, which is premiering on Lifestyle TV Monday, October 4, 8 p.m. Lifestyle TV 2 Hearts telenovela premiering. So you should catch that. So we are not talking about that kind of 2 Hearts, but hearts nonetheless. We are being told that September 29 every year, the world's attention is brought to the fact that cardiovascular diseases remain the #1 killer in the world. So there's more people dying from heart complications, cardiovascular diseases than any other cause. So more than cancer, more than road accidents, from what we are being told. So the causes may be smoking or lifestyle illnesses such as diabetes, hypertension, all that play a factor into cardiovascular diseases. How can we make sure all those numbers that suffer the effects of cardiovascular diseases? So on World Heart Day, September 29, we are raising awareness on what people should do, and just so that you're aware that there are risk factors, but you can prevent them. And with me on the yellow couch to help us understand those issues in a bit more detail, Dr. Abdul Samed Tanko, a cardiologist and head of the cardiology division at the National Cardiothoracic Center and a trustee of the National Trust Fund. Good morning, Dr. Tanko. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
I'm just telling everyone now about how cardiovascular diseases, CVD, remains the #1 killer. You just confirmed it's more than cancer, it's more than other medical conditions. And I'll invite you to share the details of that with us in a moment. But let's take a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
Breakfast Show.
Thanks for joining us. Dr. Abdul Samed Tanko, a cardiologist with the National Cardiothoracic Center, is with us on the yellow couch, and we're celebrating World Heart Day today, September 29, and we are going to have a conversation on cardiovascular diseases and why they remain the #1 killer. How serious is it of this matter that we're talking about, CVDs being top killers?
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers as well. To just give a brief introduction of the World Heart Day, we'll come to the cardiovascular diseases. The World Heart Day was established by the World Heart Federation to raise awareness, that is way back in 1999-2000, to raise awareness about cardiovascular diseases or heart diseases and strokes. We don't separate the two because they are all part of cardiovascular disease. Stroke is part of cardiovascular disease. So we say heart disease and strokes to raise awareness about these diseases and to celebrate it every year on the 29th of September to let people be aware that, look, this is real, and that if you don't take the opportunity to avert the risk factors, you will be able, you would suffer the consequences of heart attacks, heart failures, and then strokes.
What exactly is a cardiovascular disease?
Cardiovascular disease are all diseases of the heart and in the vessels, and as the heart and the vessels. You have the heart at this, itself, then you have the vessels around our bodies, in the brains and the kidneys, all over the body, that send blood across to all the organs. So when you say cardiovascular disease, you mean the disease of the heart and these vessels or these tubes, I'll use them, that send blood across in our body. So it could be heart attack, it could be a stroke, it could be small vessels of the body, anything that has to do with these tubes that carry blood in our system, plus the heart, are all called cardiovascular diseases. So heart attack is #1. And then that proceeds to other complications of the heart, among other things. So basically, these are the diseases of the heart.
I know that the center, the National Cardiothoracic Center, is always very busy. And that suggests that the numbers of persons in Ghana and beyond, because Kolebu is a referral facility, suffering from such issues are high, and we should really be concerned.
Globally, about 18.6 million people die from cardiovascular diseases. of heart disease and strokes. 18.6 million. And in about the year 2023, 27 or so, it's going to increase. And then that tells you that globally also currently there are about over 520 million people suffering from cardiovascular disease. Ghana is not excluded. We are all part of it. And it's simply because of we don't really address some of the risk factors that cause these diseases, and we tend to neglect them. And some of them are just basic things that we can do to stay healthy, to stay heart healthy. That is why this year, and because of COVID, that we can probably address, the World Heart Day use the theme this year to be, use your heart to connect. In the sense that we should be able to use our hearts to connect other people who have been isolated as a result of this COVID, who have not been able to access health care because other lockdown issues, among other things. And so that we can get in touch with them, we can communicate to be able to show love, to raise concern about heart disease and strokes. So currently, when you see those crowds at the National Cardiothoracic Center, it's because, yes, really, there are a lot, and cardio is not the only place that people go for cardiovascular care. There are other centers now springing up that are also taking care of people. So numbers are increasing. And it's because of basic risk factors that probably you might be interested in.
Yes, I would ask, yeah, what kind of lifestyles or what kind of things put us at more risk of getting cardiovascular diseases? Because I know that sometimes, for example, babies are born with defects, and so that's not something they did. Yeah. But for those who are older, what lifestyle choices predisposes one to getting these kind of diseases?
In Ghana here, the first thing I'll mention is hypertension, high blood pressure, a disease we largely take for granted in this country because sometimes it doesn't show any sign, and sometimes it's just there, and people feel that they are too young to have blood pressure and they don't take care of it. But it's number one significant risk factor to have heart diseases and strokes. Number one.
I've read somewhere that younger persons are getting high blood pressure, and even younger persons are getting strokes, whereas in the past we thought it was for those in the older age
bracket. With hypertension, it could be primary. I mean, like there's a specific, especially among the young, there are you could be essential hypertension, which you inherit from your parents. That is primary hypertension, and you could be secondary because you are too young. The pressure all of a sudden start to rise, and we try to investigate to see the cause of this blood pressure. And you mentioned about the young. It's something that really wrenches my heart because you see a young person, and then what the first symptom or the first event of knowing that it's hypertensive is a stroke or a heart attack or a kidney failure that he didn't know. Then he comes to the OPD, or sometimes some of these youngish guys, they're going to travel, maybe they ask them to go to IOL, International Organization for Migration, they are going to travel, they say, okay, you go and do a chest x-ray. And then he goes, they say, oh, your heart is enlarged, go and see a cardiologist, go and see a physician. Then he goes, they check the blood pressure, it's 150 over 100, 180 over, and the doctor asks him, do you have blood pressure? He says, no. But already the heart is showing signs that this blood pressure has been building up for the past 3, 4, 5 years. You know, and so then you go to some who might be lucky to just have an enlarged heart that can reverse probably. Some is just a massive stroke. And if you go to the stroke unit, I mean, I chance to be going to review their hearts once in a while. You see young people, 40s, already with strokes, simply because they've had blood pressure. One, either they didn't know because they were not checking, or two, they knew, but they just abandoned treatment because somebody told them, no, you know, this blood pressure medication, when you take it, you can't perform, and they stop. Some will tell you, oh, he's doing herbs, he's doing some concoctions here, and that's helping me to, oh, some will tell you, oh, doctor said, I'm going to exercise. or I've been advised to go and exercise to calm down, or oh, it's just work pressure. When I get home, when I'm at work, it goes. When I get home, these are all fallacies that probably that needs to be attended. So blood pressure is really serious, and we should really take into. I mean, we should really take it that way and advise the people and educate people. Just checking your blood pressure would not do anything. I mean, just walk into any polyclinic, just check it.
Okay, because we are on the subject of hearts, and someone just sent a message in about broken hearts. In Ghana, we call it broken heart. Is that even a thing? Is that a medical thing?
Yes, it is medical. Broken heart has been described, it's in the books.
And is it the description that says a partner does something to disappoint you and you feel down and depressed? Is that the medical definition?
It could be a partner who are disappointed. You could also be as a result of a tragedy. A loss? Loved one has lost your mom, your dad, or something. People can have, and the definition could have two ways. I will always look at it this way. Broken heart could be metaphorical. I mean, in the sense that, okay, yeah, it is kind of describing a scenario that's probably, that might not real be, the heart is not actually broken, which is metaphor. But it is at the same time real, because the heart really is broken in the real sense of structural.
In medical terms, the heart can break.
Yeah, it changes its shape. You know, if somebody suffers such situations and then you look at the heart, it's like it changes. The Japanese have something they call takochubo. Takochubo is a trap of an octopus trap or so. And so this heart adopts this shape. As soon as this thing hits, either loved one is dead or you're done by a lover, the heart quickly starts with chest pain. Similar to heart attack, okay? Every symptoms of heart attack will be demonstrated by these patients who have broken hearts, because actually the heart changes the shape, it enlarges, you know, and then gradually it can return to its normality, to normal morphology or normal dimensions and so on and so forth. So you have a situation where somebody is broken-hearted, is sad, depressed, like you said. So that might mean that it maybe is metaphorical. Then real sense of it all, the heart is really damaged, structurally damaged as a result of this situation.
In today's world, it's very busy and it's very engaging. Life in the bigger cities, traffic, there's hardly ever any time for anyone to commit to exercise and diet planning, because if you are to work during the day, then your meals are what you can get at work. What kind of lifestyle choices can we make to keep our hearts healthy in the midst of the fast-paced world that we find ourselves in?
Yeah, so the risk factors coming to them is one of them you just mentioned, lifestyle modifications or lifestyle changes. There are certain risk factors that we cannot change. For example, you and I are blacks. I mean, blacks are, when you are a black person, you are at risk of developing heart disease or hypertension more than the normal racial population, among other things. And so a lot of people would have to look at it from this angle. There are risk factors that cause heart disease and strokes, but we take them for granted. When do we, how I've mentioned to you that just walk in and check your blood pressure or buy the apparatus and check it regularly, especially if you have the risk of having hypertension. We don't really check that. We don't check ourselves. So the food you take, okay, so...
Okay, so we are seeing a promotional material on how the heart...
Exactly. So we haven't reached to the heart attack. We're looking at hypertension as a risk factor.
Okay.
So this precisely tells you about a vessel that sends blood to the heart. And this yellow thing you see there is a clogging, is like your drain. If your drain is clogged, I mean this how.
Okay. So that yellow thing could be like fat tissue.
There are fat tissues that have slowed, that have narrowed the lumen or the area of passage of the, what do you call it, the blood. And so anywhere after this blockage, there'll be a heart attack. Okay, because the blood doesn't flow across to send, and it's a rupture of that area, the plaque that has built up, and it's also ruptured and then causes heart attacks.
And all these are medical emergencies. And
this is a medical emergency. Okay. You have to go in and then solve this problem, or the fellow might die. If he doesn't die, then subsequently he develops a heart failure. Because if you get a heart attack, sometimes even if you get a heart attack and it's solved, because there's already tissue damage on that heart, eventually you will develop a heart failure. And that heart failure will gradually take you and kill you. So this you mentioned is one of the things that about our lifestyle, our diet, our eating, smoking, alcohol, sugars. We don't check our blood sugars. We hardly, especially those who have history of diabetes in their families. I mean, there's no way you would just get up. You are told that your parents had diabetes, and you don't walk in and just say, look, I'm checking my fasting blood sugar. So when we mention the stats, it's like know your numbers, and that is one of the things the World Heart Day does. Just we should know our numbers.
So as you mark World Heart Day today, what specifically is the center doing? Are there any special events to raise more awareness about some of these things?
So the center today, we have what we call a virtual DEBA that stands to raise awareness on this risk factors of heart disease and strokes. It starts at 9 a.m. today at the National Cardiothoracic Center. Ideally, but for the COVID, we have these health checks that we screen people. A lot of people are being screened every year, but because of the restrictions of COVID, we are unable to do that. So we are going to do some kind of virtual DEBA that most of our sponsors will come around, and then we'll send a message across to the world about the heart disease and the stroke risk factors.
I'm excited that we are getting the education. So your key message to people on World Heart Day would be to check what? If they remember nothing from this,
know your numbers.
Know your numbers, and those are
your blood pressure, your sugar, your cholesterol, your weight. Check your weight. Don't eat late. And cut on the carbs, the bankus, the fufu, the tozafi, the akplex. We should reduce them. And if we're doing them, I mean, not late hours. Sometimes someone takes like 9 p.m. and going to bed. This will build up, and we should exercise and smoke not. I know Ghana, and you hardly see people smoking, but I mean, some are still doing it, and we should just cut it down.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Tanko, for sharing a part of your morning with us. Dr. Abdul Samed Tanko, a cardiologist and head of the Cardiology Division of the National Cardiothoracic Center, trustee, the National Trust Fund. Thank you, Doc, for sharing the thought with us. Today is World Heart Day. It is celebrated every 29th day of September to raise awareness about cardiovascular issues and the kind of lifestyle choices that we are making that could be contributing to the numbers, the fatalities in Ghana across the world. Today at 9 a.m. the National Cardio Center is having a virtual discussion on all these factors. The doctor is telling you to check your figures. So blood pressure, your blood fasting sugar, your weight, and all that you need to know just so you can keep healthy. Definitely eat well, exercise, and don't smoke. Reduce your carbs as much as possible is what the doctor has told us. So hopefully you took something vital from this chat. And even as we are serving you breakfast, we are monitoring traffic situations around town. And Valerie is ready to give us an update on traffic. Val?
Thank you, T, and hi. So we are going to my colleague Jay. Jay is currently at the Okponglo area around East Legon, Shiashi area, and he's giving us updates as to what's happening there. You do remember that a couple of weeks ago there was heavy gridlock on that stretch when it rained, and that particular road was submerged in floodwater. So we are going to Jay now. Jay, you are live and piping hot. What can you report? He's smiling.
All right. Thank you so much, Val. So this morning, I'm happy to report there is no flood in this area at the moment. I don't know if it's because they fixed the situation or because it hasn't rained. So good morning once again. It's still hashtag GTV Breakfast and welcome to Rush Hour. So this morning I'm bringing you the updates from Opungo, like you said earlier. And from here you can get to the University of Ghana Legon campus. Behind me are those coming from Medina, Adenta, and all those environs. And then from this side are those who are coming to Opungo, and then you are coming from Baoleshi and all those areas. You go all the way to American House to from here. And then those in front of me are those coming from Shiashi, Smart Junction Airport, and all those areas, even East Legon as well. So for the current situation right now, you can tell at the moment for those who are coming from Medina and Adenta, you can tell the traffic is picking up really quickly for them, because the number of vehicles you can see presently, you can tell how gridlocked it is at the moment. And you can tell comparatively for those who are heading to campus, you can tell, well, maybe going towards Legon itself or maybe Achimota, Gempa, that side is quite free. It's free-flowing traffic for them. So the gridlock at the moment is for those who are coming from Medina and its environs. And then for those who are coming from La Baoleshi Road, heading towards Oponglo, you can tell when they get to this area, the stop is at the traffic light. So they are also not facing much of an opposition in terms of other road commuters on the road. So for those who are heading towards this area from Shashi and all that, you can tell the gridlock is building up for them, but it isn't as thick as for those who are coming from Medina. So you can tell it's steady flowing for them. There isn't that much of a stoppage for them. And then the traffic lights are working, so the movement is quite quick for them as well. And then if you look right now, you can tell that the traffic is building up for those who are heading towards Shiashi and heading towards Spana and airport and all those areas. You can tell they are now going to work and all that, so you can tell traffic has really picked up for them. You can tell in about approximately half an hour, the situation here will be terrible. So for now, this is what is happening. And then at the bus stop, you realize that the commercial vehicles do not really park properly, so it also creates a situation for vehicles who try to pass around them, and it also doesn't aid with the free flow of traffic as well. So for now, this is what I have to report from Oponglo here on the Legon Road. Back to you, Val, in the studios.
That area is notorious for motor riders and Okada riders. They cross the traffic lights even when it's red. Have you encountered any this morning? Did you see any of such this morning? You can speak.
Well, you know, for Okada riders, they have brakes on their motorbikes, but they ride around like they don't have brakes in their minds. So for now, we haven't witnessed any such thing over here. For now, you notice them parked at a pedestrian walkway to the side over there. They're also waiting for their passengers. For now, everything, they are being abiding and all that. There have only been a few incidents of them crossing the red light, but at the moment, I'll say I haven't seen such the Okada riders breaking the law or such at this intersection at the moment. Yes. Right. Well, that's some law and order restored to that side. That was my colleague Jay from the Oponglo Junction, and he brought us traffic updates. So if you're heading towards Accra and you're still in the house, traffic is mad up, so you have to look for an alternative route. But remember, Two Hearts, it's premiering on our lifestyle channel on Monday, the 4th of October. So it's a tree-dubbed Two Hearts telenovela. It premieres on Monday, like I said. It's at 8 p.m. So watch Two Hearts telenovela from Monday to Fridays at 8 p.m. And an omnibus on Saturdays at 12 noon on our channel. The lifestyle channel is the new channel. Go on all our social media platforms and go and follow our lifestyle channel, and then send our handles around as well. You can also join the interactive chat room with Lady Rita, who is going to serve as a host and an interactive forum from every Saturday at 4 p.m. So it's Lifestyle TV. It's redefined. We'll be going to Alan soon, and Alan is standing by soon to give us updates from where he's reporting from. And there we have Alan. Hi, Alan. Good morning. You are live, Alan.
I can see a
Hi,
lot
good
of...
morning, Valerie. How are you doing this morning?
I'm blessed.
Well, welcome to the World Heart Day edition of Rush Hour. And talking earlier about heart, it reminds me of back in the day, a Ghanaian movie, Matters of the Heart. And I'm looking at that, mirroring two hearts. And I can only imagine what Lisa and Leo will get up to when eventually the hideout is exposed. By the way, this is Rush Hour, #GTV Breakfast. Welcome to the Oyarifa Dodowa intersection. Behind me is rather a broken down traffic line, so pedestrians and commuters coming from that end will have to take it a little easy. However, if we pan to the left, that would take traffic coming all the way from Koforidua, part of Mampong, Ebri, even Ayimensa, and this will be heading towards Accra. And so if you're coming from that part of the east, would ask you to exercise a little restraint, because traffic build-up from that far end approaching Accra is really very terrible. That is not to say that the traffic lights aren't working at this intersection. They are fully functional. But one thing I must also in time bring to your attention is the work of a certain police officer at this intersection. Jesus, her attention to detail, oh my God, is absolutely awesome. This traffic filing out is the one coming from the east heading towards Accra. Slightly behind the rail is the police officer I'm talking about. But in time, we'll get her in full view and you'll understand exactly what I am going on about. This police officer's attention to detail is commendable. Not only has she got eyes for traffic, she even has time for school children who are improperly dressed, and she'll reprimand them to get dressed before they continue. It's such an awesome police officer she is. What you can see next is traffic headed for Accra. And then you also have a view of traffic coming in from Accra towards this intersection at Dodowa and Oyarifa, and also traffic going towards Oyarifa and Dodowa itself. I must also say, if you're approaching this intersection, you may also have to allow a little time, just allow a little time, because the police officer's work is rather balancing the very good act of the traffic. And I am yet to see anyone, any commuter, ignoring or pretending not to have seen the work of the police officer. She's just awesome. I must repeat, if it is allowed. But then traffic going into Dodowa and then traffic coming out from Dodowa is really not bad. It's okay, smooth flowing. Only those heading into Dodowa will have to be careful a bit, because there is a certain parked truck, not properly parked. You can't see that from this camera angle, but then there is a parked truck on the side of the road that is making the road a bit narrower, and so commuters will have to be careful as they approach the Dodowa end. But when you come back, you will see the police officer I'm talking about. She's just been joined by a member of the Municipal Assembly Guard. This police officer is fantastic. If the IGP is listening to us this morning, she must be commended for her job this morning. Absolutely awesome. She has attention to detail for traffic, and absolutely no commuter can say they haven't observed or seen her work this morning. She even has time for school children. This is Rush Hour #GTV Breakfast, and this is the situation at the Dodowa Oyarifa intersection. Thank you very much, and back to you, Valerie, in the studio.
Thank you, Alan, for those updates, and it's a worthy shout to the police woman there for doing an awesome job. Still to come, Kaf will sit down with his guests to discuss what's trending in our newspapers and what's trending across social media news outlets, and then we'll have the lifestyle segment later on in the show. We'll also have that sit down. Kaf had a sit down with a cinematographer. That's also going to air on later in the show. Until, guys, we're taking a quick break.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
You're so high sensitive, you know. On himself.
Coming live from the capital. This is the Breakfast Show.
All right, hashtag GTV Breakfast brought to you by Awake Purified Drinking Water, Shield Acrylic Paint, Adonko Next Level Energy Drink, and My Bet Africa Now, which is giving you the chance to win even if you lose on your first bet. And the bonus code is GTV. So think of My Bet Africa, the home of betting. And I bet you're going to have a great show today. We come up are the headlines, but just before I go into the first story, which is quite a big one from Kumasi, have you realized that some banks in the capital now have military escorts for their bullion vans? I saw that yesterday. I was down someone, I was thinking, what's going on here? And then I spoke to one of the bank officials, and they said for about a month now they'll be using the military people to escort their bullion vans. You know, it's secure, but it's quite intimidating to see all these heavily armed soldiers. But I guess it's for security. Security is security. So whether it's police or military, they're still doing their job. What do you think, though? I'd like to know from you. 055-556-1034. Military escorts for bank bullion vans. Okay. So in the headlines, I'm going to start with, first of all, introducing my guest, who's a newly reappointed Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. Henry Kwabena Kokofu, former MP for the good people of Bantama. And yeah, welcome to the show. Congratulations.
Thank you, my brother.
It's good to have you here. We're going to start with a story from Kumasi. I'm looking at the Ghanaian Times. It leads with disaster hits Kumasi. 6 perish in floods after torrential rains. Full story is on page 3. 6 people, including 2 minors, confirmed dead following Monday's downpour that resulted in flooding of parts of the Kumasi metropolis and environs. And so the deaths occurred at Ahinema Kokoben, Sokoban, Dabain, Penin, and Kromwase. So NADMO has deployed its personnel to search for the bodies, and as at the time of reporting for Ghanaian Times, one of the bodies of the miners had been retrieved. We will be speaking shortly to our Ashanti regional correspondent on the phone to give us some more on this. Thomas Nsoa Ejeyi, I believe Thomas is on the line. Thomas, good morning.
Good morning.
Great. Thank you very much, but not so great as far as the news is concerned. Can you tell us a little bit more about these floods and the kind of damage it has caused in Kumasi?
Thank you once again. It's very bad news to wake up every morning to hear disaster like people being killed by flooding. It is not a very good news at all. But we shall continue to hear this and witness this because of what is happening in the metropolis these days. My brother, when we came to Kumasi some years back, Kumasi is not a flat land area. Kumasi is a slopey, if you know Kumasi very well, we have swampy areas where when it rains, the rain will gather and then to just flow. But recently, for the past 5 years, what we are witnessing is so bad to talk about. People have built in all the waterways, all the areas that the winds have been captured by big rich people, where either the areas are not supposed to be built. Then again, previously we hear of churches and areas that are reserved, areas that people don't want to occupy, to build. But these days, the trend has changed. Let me just come back to what happened last Monday. This rain that caused the havoc, it wasn't so much of a rain, but because all the areas are blocked. All the areas that are supposed to gather the rains, send them away, are blocked. So any slightest of rain, you see the place being flooded. So we have been informed and confirmed that 5 people have been confirmed, that not 6 as earlier on reported. When I spoke to the administrator, he confirmed that there are 5, and 3 are teenagers, 2 below 10. They've retrieved some of the bodies, others they are still searching for them. But what is significant is that according to NADMO, they continue to sing the song that people should not build here. People have built here, let us demolish the structures. Then they don't have power to prosecute. They don't have that power. So what they do, according to my search, is that they will report the issue to the appropriate quarters, that is the district assemblies, the metropolitan assemblies. They have the power to either prosecute or demolish. But when they send the report to them, the report will just gather that, and always and every day. In fact, if we have to go around, those areas that witness flooding have been identified as a water-prone area where people should not build, where people should not encroach. But they have just blocked all the areas. So what the NADMO man told me this morning was that they just sent a report to government to empower them to be able to prosecute, to be able to demolish themselves. Other than that, we will continue to witness this every day, every time that the winds are too much to be contained here in the Ashanti region. But he also said, Rested has also taken serious note about this, and they're also debating how we can go about this so that we also remain very safe anytime there's rain or torrential rain. In fact, if these things are not checked, and we'll continue to talk about this every now and then, I don't think we'll make any progress, because the rich people have taken over the swampy areas. That's one, you cannot run away from that. Okay. For human activities, where people just jump here and there, that alone I don't think can even cause flooding, even though it's not good. But the issue we are confronted with is that they have redesigned areas that are not supposed to be built by the Kumasi urban councils. And it's almost occupied by rich people, big rich people. What do you if you complain about it? So that is it. We know the causes, and we are not tackling the cause. When the Minister of Water Resources came here, when Asensu Boachi came around, he is from Bantuma. But his own area where they used not to be even flooding, all these areas have been captured as water-prone areas. In fact, he said that unless the Metropolitan Assembly take this action, we will continue to talk about this. Nobody can solve it. Okay. Then again, let me also emphasize that the gutters that have been constructed now is so narrow that even a bath of water can even flood it.
Can even flood it.
So narrow.
Okay, but
and then I don't know the type of mechanical work or architectural work that goes into this.
It appears that there are a lot of issues, and I'm glad you've outlined all of them. Thank you so much. Keep reporting on these issues, and we will do our best as a public broadcaster to get answers and solutions for the people. That's Thomas Nsoa J, Ashanti regional correspondent of Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, reaching us live on the phone from Kumasi, where a number of people have died as a result of serious flooding in the metropolis. It's fortuitous that my guest is a former MP of one of the constituencies in the Ashanti region, Bantama to be precise. And it's also great that you are the big boss at the Environmental Protection Agency. What role can your agency play in collaboration with NADMO and other authorities to make sure that people do not do the wrong thing? Big men building in waterways, gutters not constructed well. What role can the EPA play in this, or what are you doing so far?
Good morning once again.
Good morning.
And good morning. Welcome to the President of the land. You know, he went to the United Nations General Assembly.
I thought you were going to tell me that he came from Kumasi.
The President?
Yes.
He went to United States,
okay.
New York, and he's back in town.
He's been for such a long time now.
Yes, but it's refreshing to see your head of state the President of the Republic addressing the UN General Assembly, and he touched on environmental issues, climate change, and all that. They are topical. These are topical issues that confronts the world globally. So our president did a good job presenting the case as it is.
The guys in Kumasi are not doing a good job presenting the case as it is. From
so I'm flowing down there. So the whole idea is that our attitudes as a people has contributed to some of these things that we do. As much as leadership will be doing their bit, talking about these things, creating the necessary awareness and all that, it behoves on us, you and I, the citizenry, to ensure that proper things are done, regulations are adhered to.
So what are the regulators doing in the Kumasi metropolis?
I'm coming.
Because from what my man said, you have powerful people building in the wrong places.
Yeah, so you asked a question which I think it needs to be rephrased. You asked what EPA can do. What EPA has been doing to augment other institutions to forestall some of these things. So it's not going. It's something that we've not renegated. Is it working? That's another issue. That is where you bring in the attitude of the people. The laws will be there, regulations will be there, officers will be coming around, arresting, creating the awareness, education. What is left, the missing link, is people to appreciate, understand, and practically do what needs to be done. Yes, it's true. My MP is the Minister for Works and Housing, MP for Bantama. And it is also gratifying that your reporter has reckoned that he has been in the metropolis some time, bemoaning and cautioning people over some of these things. And gladly, so to speak, a lot has been achieved on the quiet. But much more needs to be done. 5 people are dead. Yes, that is so bad the news.
So what's the achievement there? 5 people are dead.
If not what have been done, we would have been counting more casualties.
You're saying that there would have been more people dead? Is that what you're saying?
More casualties, more disaster, everything. Yes, of course, because you see the situation is so alarming nationwide. Now, Kumasi stands accused anyway, so we will deal with the Kumasi situation. It's so alarming that you have people being so recalcitrant, people being so adamant in doing these things that comes back to us as a people. Flooding is something you can sometimes say force majeure, something that you cannot do away with. Indeed, in recent times, industrialized countries hitherto we know have all the rights, have done all the gutters, they have all the drainages, have been experiencing flooding. Now Germany, Stuttgart, never ever anybody thought that Stuttgart would ever get flooded. I was in Houston about 4 weeks ago. There was a raining, and within 30 minutes, streets of Houston were all flooded. And all that. I'm not saying
that, because I'm wondering if you were to if you were to be part of a delegation to go visit the parents and the families of these 5 or 6 people who had died, will you be telling them about Stuttgart and Houston?
No. What I'm trying to say is that it's a phenomenon that is coming up seriously, due partly because of climate change issues, partly the torrential rainfalls, rainfalls coming and all that. And we've been warned. These are some of the impacts of climate change, which you all say it is real. We've been educating, we've been creating the awareness. That's why I brought in the linkage of our president at the global level. However, we have got to do A, B, C, D. So what we do to mitigate the impact of climate change. And some of these things are to stay away from wetlands, stay away from water pathways, stay away, don't develop infrastructure in areas where you know to be flood prone. These are measures, and I'm telling you, you can. Your reporter can go around and see.
No, he's gone round.
Yes, but there's something.
He's laid out all the problems.
Yes, there's something maybe he hadn't averted his mind to. There are areas that Environmental Protection Agency have cordoned somehow, have taken charge of, and encumbered. These, we've identified them to be wetlands where people are eager to fill them up and then build on. We've gone around trying to get these places and to be encumbered by Environmental Protection Agency.
You have prosecutorial powers. Can you take people to court? EPA?
Yes, we have, and we've been doing. Let your out of respect, let your reporter get closer to my office at the regional office. The officer is Mr. Otten. If he's listening, you should get to your reporter and get to my legal department there. And you see the number of prosecutions we've made. We've fined people. Some people have even been jailed a week or two, or been given the options of fine or go to jail due to environmental offenses. We've been doing, but as many times as we take these measures and steps, the people themselves will have to appreciate and embrace the issue of environmental compliance. If you do not do, if the teacher teaches you and you refuse to take it and practice what the teacher teaches you, you end up being hollow and empty-minded. So it is once again an appeal to the people. We're going to up our games. I agree. Enforcement is key, and we're going to up our game. And we do work closely in touch with the police, with the district assemblies. You know, your reporter also said rightly that the district, municipal, and metropolitan assemblies do have the first primary responsibilities when it comes to these developmental agenda and built environment issues.
Okay.
What we do is to make sure what the law allows us to do, we adhere to. But then, the first port of call is with the MMDAs, where they do what we call rezoning of lands, use, what they do, permitting, built-ups, and all manner of things. And my minister keep on saying that it's about time we at EPA descend heavily on state institutions who, one way or the other, renegade on their responsibilities.
Okay.
The issue of rezoning has become very, very critical in this manner. A place may be zoned for wetlands, where it takes the residual rainfall, the waterway, the water. It takes its time to seep down there. If you build on those lands, what it means is that, one, you are killing biodiversity. Two, you are not affording the water, the runoff water, to seep down there, to go and even recharge the groundwater. Three, you are allowing the water to find its own course.
I mean,
and these are dangerous.
I agree with all the science.
Yes.
But people are doing it.
Yes.
I mean, they know all these theories, but they're doing it.
So you stop, I stop, he stops, she stops, then we are completely. Now,
no, I think arrest. That's what people are saying.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're doing. But you see, for how long and for how many times would you be on the street arresting,
break down the buildings? Those are options.
Yeah,
are those not options?
They are. Yeah. There are times you need.
I mean, excavators are being burned. So why can't buildings being brought down? Why can't they bring the buildings down?
I agree. Perfectly, I agree with you. So we will have got to up our game.
Up the game.
And then collaborate with the district assemblies and all those things.
All right.
Let's come together
to solve the issue. So if you live in Kumasi, I just want to know your thoughts on this. Are you affected by this flooding? Let us know. 055 556 1034. I want to know exactly what your experience is. What's it like to be caught up in a situation like this where you have cars half submerged and people just dying after a rain? Yes, global issues are there, climate change is there, but a lot of the issues are also human factors.
Yes.
So let's find out from
that's the issue. Human factors.
The other headlines on the front page of today's Ghanaian Times, Dr. Awal, the Minister for Tourism, and help asking the UN World Tourism Organization to help mobilize COVID-19 vaccines for member countries. Government grants relief packages to rice farmers in KJB. And of course, High Life legend Nana Mpedu dies at 76. Let's go to an interesting story I saw here. So, the Daily Graphic looks at implementing of the Right to Information law. Information access fees out soon, says the Minister for Information, Upon Nkrumah. The government is developing a standardized fee system for all public institutions to charge people seeking access to information under the RTI law. The Minister of Information has announced. So there's currently an absence of a unified fee system, which is one of the challenges facing the implementation of the RTI law. So they're looking for a flat figure, so no matter where you go, you know that this is how much you have to pay to get the information you need. Yesterday was Universal Access to Information Day, and I guess this falls on the back of that. I mean, yes, some would also ask, why pay to access information? If I'm a poor farmer in Blemazado, in the Volta region, and I want some information from the Ministry of whatever ministry or whatever I want, and I have to pay money to access public information, does that not defeat the whole purpose of right to information?
No, I don't think so. These are normal, what you're talking about are normal informations that are available in a way, in the form of brochures, in the form of advertisement, in the form of the front desk information flow. Is going on. If you go to any of the district offices of, say, Ministry of Agriculture, so nobody will charge you for accessing information as to what varieties of planting materials that you may be requiring and all that. It does not. But this information that you're talking about has to do with more detailed investigative, something, premises on some kind of investigations and all that. Informations hitherto have been classified as being confidential or something, information that the institution or the agency does not give away easily and all that. And it comes with processing, piling up, documenting, gleaning from a pack of information materials. So it all comes with costs. And don't forget, the Ministry of Information has given all of us, the state institutions and all of us, they've given us right to information officers in our outfits.
So you have one at the EPA?
Yes, you have one at the EPA.
Has anybody tried to access information from you recently?
Well, not to my knowledge. Indeed, that's not come to me directly. The officers that are involved, we have the internal communication system, we have the corporate affairs directorate and all that. They deal with them. But so far, I haven't had any complaint as to paying of fees for information or being denied access to information. So I take it that it's running normally.
Okay.
But so you must make the distinction clear. What kind of information that you are seeking for? Is it the daily ordinary information that's available? That's why nobody is going to charge you for anything. For instance, if you walk into EPA and you say you want to go into mining, small scale mining, what are the information available for you? We have them in brochures and whatever you may think of. We just hand you 1, 2, and 3. Yesterday, we had the privilege to host a delegation from Liberia government. They've come to Ghana to study how Ghana has been running the small-scale mining activities. I mean, the artisanal small-scale gold mining activities, and then trying to see how we regulate it, and then finding solutions to all that. In our interaction, we got to know that they have much more serious problems on their hands, and they look up to Ghana for some kind of tutorials and all that. We were
even with our Galamsey issues.
Yes, we according to them.
What are we teaching them?
How to deal with that. For instance, you mentioned about burning of excavators and all that, seizures here and there, prosecuting corporates left and right, and all manner of things, and then going down critically to assess those who have been rightly also licensed, but then are using the license to do what we deem illegal or illegalities.
So Ghana is a model of best practice?
Well, we are not there yet, but comparatively, relatively to them, I'm not saying they came down and had interactions with us.
Then their situation must be serious, because Galamsey is quite a serious situation in Ghana.
And I told you earlier on that they have a serious issues on their hands. But then it's a South-South cooperation thing, learning from one another and all that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, we did not charge these Liberians any fee before we divulged those information. Okay. These are hands-out, information that are available day-to-day, running of institutions and all that. But when you want to break into critical, hitherto confidential information for purposes of usage, you may want to go in for, you need that.
What would be confidential information from EPA, for example?
If I should tell you, what then would the confidentiality be?
No, an example. No, I'm not saying tell me, but what kind of, if I want to inquire about something and then your officer says, no, this is confidential, what kind of information would be confidential?
No, for now we don't.
Okay, so
any other information is available.
All right. Dr. Kokufu is the newly reappointed Executive Director for the Environmental Protection Agency. Your comments on 055-556-1034. I can see some messages coming on military escorts to bullion vans. We'll read those later. A couple of more headlines on the front page of today's Daily Graphic. Bank of Ghana steps up fight against electronic fraud. Dr. Awal is beaming again, just looking into the future. Support COVID-19 vaccination effort. He's entreating the World Tourism Body. And a couple of interesting stories I want to just touch on briefly. So the chaps in Guinea say none of the military junta people will be allowed to take part in the elections, which is good news. On page 11, there's a castration story that all men must really want to read. And then I want to ask Dr. Kokufu this. Government has begun the process for new presidential jet. So this has been in the news on page 13 of today's Daily Graphic. The presidential jet has been in the news for quite some time, and Mr. Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, MP for North Tone, has been on the case like a terrier, looking for information. We hear that, or it's reported that there's going to be a process for a new presidential jet. Have you flown it before, the current one? And are you in support of this new jet?
But before dawn, let me touch on the death of the legend.
Oh, it will come at the end.
You talk about it. It's quite interesting. Yeah. Okay, the presidential jet. I haven't averted my mind to it so much until you raised it. But as a nation, at a point in time, if we think we need to have a presidential jet that will ferry our president and high-level dignitaries to and fro from engagements, why not?
Is there a need for a presidential jet?
Well, you do not determine. I do not. The presidential jet is in the hands of the Air Force, Ghana Armed Forces, the Air Force, to be precise, and they do all the mechanics and all that. If per their recommendation that there is the need to, why not? But then we should also not forget that before dawn, when the former president, J. Kufuor, thought of bringing in the presidential jet, there were a lot of wulabalu. People thought it was absolutely unnecessary and all that, given that he purchased the present one at the tail end of his tenure. And clearly, it's shown that he wasn't interested in buying it for himself, for the nation, because he was hesitant. He was on his way going. Yet he felt the need for, unless of course we say we wouldn't want to see our president today and future presidents participating in international engagements.
There are some heads of states who fly commercial.
Well, maybe that is how.
And they are not poor.
Poor in terms of
they are not. They have rich industrialized nations and they fly commercial.
Well, that is they are thinking, and that's what they want, and that's how they've couched their own. But as a nation, we think we need a presidential jet.
Convince somebody who is skeptical why it is necessary now to buy a presidential jet. What are the arguments for
a new presidential jet? The argument is simple. We have one, and there's the need to replace it. The need has arisen to replace it. I have this jacket, but don't be surprised. Maybe the next day you may see me in shop and I will meet you. You also want to have a new jacket.
A presidential jet is not a jacket.
Yes, but
it's a lot of money.
Yeah, but
unless your jacket has diamonds all over it.
You see, can we
still will not be the cost of the jet.
Can we quantify the cost involved of the safety of our president? We might not be looking at the present president, presidents to come in future, and all that. The life of just one person, and indeed someone we call the head of state, the president of the republic, and by law or by duty, by responsibility, is enjoined to travel to and fro here and there, moving all in the name of the state, working for the state. So
it's a safety issue.
One safety issue, yes, and then the
is the timing good?
Multiple tasks. You know, if you are flying by a commercial flight, you may have to jump here, stop here, move there, go there, and all that. But I can assure you, you can have a president who, by his presidential jet, within an hour or two, would have performed so many tasks that would have ordinarily not be possible by the usage of commercial flights. So we must leave it to the experts, and then the experts will come out to explain to us as to why they need to have.
But you just argue for the jet, although you're not an expert.
Yes, I'm not, but from my layman's point of view,
okay.
and then looking at the responsibilities that's placed on head of states.
All right.
But maybe people are narrowing it to the current president and Adako Kufuor. But be assured that he soon
you leave the scene.
Yes,
all right.
Of course.
Okay.
You leave the scene.
All right.
So,
for posterity.
Posterity.
All right. Like the same thing that President Kufuor did. I guess 055-556-1034. Your take on the do we need a presidential jet right now? Have you heard the arguments? What do you think? Let us know. Okay. Do I go to speak to Jay, or I look at the news release that has just come in? Let me just go on the line rather and speak to a gentleman who is in the news today, because he says on the front page of today's Daily Analyst, practice your own version of democracy, stop copying others. Dr. Vladimir Entry Dansu is the Dean of the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College. Dr. Entry Dansu, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast on GTV.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. These days you're in the news, from the Ojira report to now you talking about our own version of democracy. Who are we copying these days?
Well, you know who. It's like we have made democracy like an event, and therefore when we pile up what makes democracy, then we are okay. Ghana's constitution, for example, is a combination of the American presidential system and the British Westminster formula. And so when you copy somebody's thing like that, then everybody is looking at the ingredients that make for Westminster and the ingredients that make for the presidential system. And then you've ignored your own local specificities, African specificities. And then you have hiccups, on and on and on. Because the coups we are having in Africa, for example, stem from the very fact that we try to copy. in the the Francophone-speaking countries, they copied blindly the French system, where it's a 7-year term followed by a 7-year term. And then they changed the constitution to make it try to look like maybe the British type or whatever it is. And then they say, okay, because I changed the constitution democratically, under normal democratic dispensations, I have a right to go again. And that's what we are having. So I'm saying democracy is not an event. It is a process. And you keep amending your way of doing it depending on your own local specificity. So it's most of these copyings that are bringing the hiccups that we have in our African democracy. Hello? Hello?
I think we have lost him. We can raise him back on the line. Can you?
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Great, great. Thank you so much. If you had the power to recreate Ghana's democracy, what ingredients would you put in and what would you take out?
Well, basically, when I say democracy, you can put any ingredients, it means you look at your own specificity and you add or subtract. Fine, we must have a constitution, which is correct. But what kind of constitution? Is our constitution working? Our constitution is working because we put in several things that make the constitution not work. So people sit down in Ghana and they insult the president because in America you can do it. In our own local reality, you can't insult a chief. So what is it? So people, some of you in the media got up to say you burn Ghana, you rape the chief justice. Can you imagine? And then there is so much indiscipline in our system because we believe that there is so much freedom of speech. Where in our constitution can't we find a place for the kind of creating discipline in our dispensation? What I'm trying to say is that we don't have what it takes, like the Americans or the British, they have, and stem out in discipline and things like that. Look at the Capitol attack. Yes, there were people who supported or who support Trump, and they were there in their numbers fully. But then when the police and the guards were on them, whoever has been arrested is not going to be saved by the party, unlike our police. So why can't we have a system where these things will not happen at all? So there are several things that we could have done to our own constitution, to our own way of life.
Okay.
In our own traditional way of life, these things don't happen.
All right. So are you advocating, for example, a law against insulting the president, as happens in some countries?
One way or the other, why not? If we don't have what it takes to stem that tide, if we have a situation where those people can bring about instability, do we prefer that to a situation where we prevent people from being undisciplined?
And what other, so it's interesting. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will be wondering, hey, where is the doctor coming from? You want certain things, you want a democracy to look more like a chieftaincy issue?
No, not necessarily. Democracy has ingredients. Look, yesterday in my paper, I created, I have a slide which is showing how we think democracy is. We say you have a constitution, you have separation of powers, Bill of Rights, they are all in our constitution. And then you have state institutions that work according to the remit of the constitution. Well, I know Ghana, on all democracy maps, we are counted as one of the best. And I'm saying, that's fine. Africa, Niger was started as one of the best, Mali. But what happened in these countries? So when you have all these ingredients, they say, well, the people have a democracy. And I say democracy goes beyond that. It is having all these structures that are laid down by global best practices. Plus, trade transformational leaders. How do we look for trade transformational leaders? Are we looking for people who just go to parliament just to insult each other? Or we look for people who are well-versed in politics or well-versed in anything to bring something to the country, right? So trade transformational leaders, how do we get them? How do we make sure that we get such leaders? How do we make sure that people are participants in our democratic dispensation? Elsewhere, what they have, we can't have it here. But we have put in our structure a structure that says that we have a democracy. Citizen participation, etc., etc., etc. You know, we do prudent economic management. All these things, are we having them? Why is that they say every African country is corrupt? Why is that they say X, Y, Z? So it's like we have copied something which is not bad. If you want to have a PhD, there are some things you have to do and get there.
Okay.
So if people even steal to get there, we say it's correct. That's what I'm talking about.
All right. You've opened a big conversation. I'm sure you will be hearing a lot of views for and against. But thank you so much, Dr. Vladimir.
I love the debate.
Thank you very much. Spasiba. Thank you. Dr. Vladimir Enchidanso is the Dean at the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College. He says, practice your own version of democracy. Stop the copy. And one of the suggestions he's making is that there should be a law against you insulting the president. You know, I don't know how long you would spend in jail for doing that. But I'm just curious to find out what my guests say on this. I have with me Dr. Konako Kufu, the Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, and Anochi Frimpong, who is a lawyer and historian, who has joined us here. He was on our show last week for the Nkrumah conversations, and a lot of traction from his views. Both of you lawyers, and both of you, I'd like to have your thoughts on this. I'll start with lawyer Anochi Frimpong.
That's from Kumasi High School.
Kumasi High School people. Practice your own version of democracy. Do you agree with Dr. Vladimir Chansu? The copy is too much? Mr. Frimpong? Yes.
Well, I don't think Africa, and to that extent Ghana, has anything branded that we can refer to as our own version of democracy. We don't have anything like that. Let's say we are in Ghana. You go to the Akan area. They belong to the matrilineal system of government, if I should put it, or of inheritance and of traditional administration, if I should put it that way. Then you go to the Ewe area, and the north. They belong to the patrilineal. And within it, especially among the Ewes, you see a lot of Akan infusions. You go to the north, Ashanti adulterations. You come to Ga, Fante adulterations, and then Akwamu adulterations. So it's very difficult, even within this small country called Ghana, to talk about a version of democracy. I believe that even the Americans who started it all, they did not evolve it. They also put together the Roman system of administration, the Greek system of administration, and to a very high extent, the administration that is also found in the Bible.
I'm interested in the adulterations. Give me some examples. What are these account adulterations about?
What I mean is that, for example, when you go to Ghana, where we are now in Accra, you see that even though it is fully a patrilineal system, you see that because the Akwamus lived here with the Gans for over 100 years, some Akan customs have gone into the Ga system. That is all that I'm trying to say. So, for example, you find that initially or originally, the Gans and the Ewes, they didn't have a chief as they have now. No, they didn't have that. They had somebody who was a fetish, head of the fetish, who was their leader, somebody who owned the land, then somebody who was a chief. And the powers of the chief very, very limited. But because of so many centuries of living with the Akans, gradually the power of the chief shot up, because it was like they were looking at the Akan people. So the power of the chief shot up. That is why in Accra, you may be a paramount chief or divisional chief, you would not have land. The land belongs to the family, a particular family. And so when you want to purchase land in Accra, you go to a certain family and not a chief, which is completely different among the Akan people. So all that I'm trying to say is that democracy is not anything that is from anywhere. I believe that everybody, you sit down and you see that we have Ewes, we have Akans, Northerners, Gans, all coming together. There's no way we can allow an individual to take the seat of government as a traditional stool where the person will sit on it until they are dead. No. And so 4 years is
enough.
Yes. And the reason why we are not working is not that democracy is not suitable for our system. It is simply because when we are so corrupt, we are corrupt and we cannot administer ourselves, we cannot do good with the system, then we try to find problems everywhere.
So the corruption is the key.
It's as simple as that.
And it's not a democracy
It is
issue.
not the word democracy. Democracy is government for the people, by the people, and of the people. A situation whereby you organize yourself, you know that when you come to power, it is 4 years, at most 8 years. That 8 years,
2 terms.
2 terms, and then you do not go out completely. If your party wins, you still remain a leading member of your party, and therefore every piece of advice you've got, like for example, ex-President Kufuor, whatever wisdom, whatever advice, whatever unfinished business he has in mind, he can give to the new person.
Okay.
And when you lose to like President Mahama, so you go and prepare and see what went wrong, and you come back again. It's very simple.
It's a simple issue. Is it as simple as that, Dr. Kokufu? Practice your own version of democracy. Stop copying others. Do you agree with the doctor?
Well, the tenets of democracy may be the issue at stake. That's how I look at it. If you listen to lawyer, he attempted to go back and get to our norms and customs as a people, with diversity of ideas and governance structures from time immemorial. You know, before the advent of the colonial masters, so to speak, our forefathers were governing themselves.
Definitely.
I mean, there was governance.
Yeah, there was.
And those of us who believe in the Bible, I mean, Christians, you can see, you can read through the governance structures of the biblical going. Before, there was this chiefdom, kings, queens, then it came to judges. Judges were ruling, then it evolved up to certain levels and all that. We have seen evolvement of governance structures as a people. Like he said, it was quite fragmented and all that. When we came together, when under the auspices of nationhood, then we needed to amalgamate. We needed to sift in here and there and bring things together to form some kind of principles that we will use to govern ourselves.
Is our democracy working? Briefly, we have to wrap up. Is it working?
Yeah, at least for now it's working.
It's working.
It's working. We may not be happy with certain tenets of democracy that we are practicing.
But now it's working.
So that is what we got to deal with.
Okay.
What do we have to do to improve upon what we have on our hands?
That's a great rhetorical question for us to end this conversation. It's a great because it's going to bring up a lot of debate. I've been speaking with Dr. Henry Kwabena Kokufu, Executive Director for the Environmental Protection Agency, and I'm not sure Frimpong, who's a lawyer and a historian, and on the penultimate day of our Nkrumah month, I'd like to say
my colleague Abranti.
Yes, colleague Abranti. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Couple of messages coming in, I believe. Oh, I shall read them. If my readers will read for me, I'll read my messages. Good morning, Clemento Poku, talking about flooding in Ghana. Our leaders complain that people build in unauthorized areas. If that's the case, I know one must acquire a building permit before you can go ahead and build. The state must demolish any structure in built areas. Thank you so much, Clement. Just as bulldozers are being burned, buildings can also be brought down so that people will learn a big lesson. All your investments will go up in dust, and then you know that you can't do the wrong thing. I was in Tafi Atome Monkey Sanctuary, and there was a monkey who attempted a coup in that forest. So this monkey was a troop leader. They have 16 troops in this forest. Every troop has between 120 and 160 monkeys. And then they have an overall king who doesn't belong to any troop. He walks around with 4 wives. One of the troop leaders tried to take over the king. You know what happened? The other troop leaders ganged up on this monkey, beat the heck out of this monkey, and ostracized him. So they didn't kill him. That monkey is now roaming around the forest on his own. His parents have disowned him. Nobody goes near him. No sex, no friends. And he's going to live for the next 10 years. He was 30 years old at the time of the coup, and they lived for 40 years. So it's 10 years of moving around doing nothing. Okay. He has access to food, but nobody comes near him. Okay. So that's it. So the laws must work. All right. Okay. A couple more messages. My people are not reading me. I'll read though. This is GTV Breakfast. There's a development on the Owusu Bempah issue. Did you end up defending him? You're going to be part of his team.
Yeah. I was around.
Okay. So this is from the Ghana police. Reverend Owusu Bempah's aide, wanted by police, has been arrested. So suspect Bright Bechi, 30, believed to be an aide to Reverend Isaac Owusu Bempah, the head pastor of the Glorious Word Power Ministries International Accra, has been arrested. He's been charged with the offenses of threats of death, offensive conduct, and the possession of a firearm without lawful authority. The suspect was seen in a widely circulated video brandishing a weapon and issuing threats of death to police officers and other persons. A weapon has been retrieved from him for a ballistic examination to aid further investigations. He will soon be arraigned before court. We thank the police for their continued support as we pursue our constitutional mandate of maintaining law and order. Signed, this is the busiest PRO in the world. Alexander Kweku being, okay, so this is a different president. Superintendent of Police, Director, Public Affairs. This is signed 28 September, so this is from yesterday. And I've seen a picture of the gun that was retrieved from this chap. And so this is what is happening right now in this country of Ghana. Police are working hard, informing us of exactly what is going on right now. And before we go, just brief thoughts on Nana Ampedu, who passed away yesterday, the highlight legend. I'll start with you. 30 seconds.
Yeah, very, very much unfortunate, but how can we do? That is it. Man must be born and man must die. So we wish him a very, very peaceful rest, eternal rest in the bosom of our Lord Jesus Christ. The family, children and wife, our hearts with them. We sympathize with them. Okay. But forever he will be remembered.
Yes. Can you sing any of his songs?
Pardon?
Can you sing any of his choruses?
Well, I do not sing because I know the songs, but I do not
sing. So sing it for me.
I won't do. Politely. You see?
Sing it for me.
So Agatha will be looking into your face this morning. Yes, but on the most serious note, there had been a lot to learn from him. The legendary, yes, through music and all other things, philosophies and all manner of things. And he promoted the animal kingdom, so to speak, through the usage of
All right. May he rest in peace. Mr. Frimpong, quickly, your thoughts on Nana Ampedu?
Yeah, I know for some time the English department and then linguistics department of the University of Ghana were regularly inviting him to explain some of his songs. Wow. Very philosophical. Yes. And I also know on record that he has left behind more albums than any African musician. Wow. In fact, the first 10 in the world. Wow. Yeah, and it will be very difficult for anybody to surpass him.
Phenomenal output, great gentleman, Nana Kwame.
Yeah, but this is for the tourism industry.
Yes.
My able minister, Dr. Awa, this is for them to take it up. And it can be, you can
document, keep it for posterity.
Yes.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. All righty, that's headlines. We're going to keep an eye right now on issues, and one of my colleagues is sitting somewhere in the Greater Accra region, keeping an eye on issues. I believe it's Alan. Alan, hi, good morning.
Tay.
Yes. Valerie, please take it away.
Sure. And so we are keeping an eye with Alan. Hopefully, this is at the Redco. He's at the Redco area in Medina, and hopefully we'll not go and see a lake or a swimming pool. Hi, Alan. You're light and piping. Oh, I beg your pardon. It's Jay. We are keeping an eye this time with Jay. Jay, if you can hear us, where are you?
All right, Abal, thank you very much. So, welcome once again, everyone. It's still hashtag GTV Breakfast. My dress was sponsored by the Lifestyle TV. You know, we're bringing up the telenovela soon, 2 Hearts. And That's what is happening to me at the moment. We are premiering that on Monday, the 4th of October on Lifestyle TV, and we want to tell people to look forward to that. It's one of the upcoming productions that we hope they will be entertained by, and that's what we've been up to. So that was my wardrobe change, thanks to two hats. So what I'm reporting from presently, I need two hats to report from. One to keep me calm, and one when I'm getting angry that will balance the whole situation for me. So this morning I'm on one of the bridges on the La Encontana Medina Adenta Highway, and this is where we'll be reporting from and keeping an eye on things. So you can tell behind me it's a makeshift. I don't even know how to describe it, but you remember back in the day there were some pedestrians who used to cross a major highway, and so these pedestrian bridges were built to prevent them from using the highway to stop the accidents and all the people who were being hit by vehicles. So this footbridge was built to aid them, and in the process of building them, I'm not sure it was complete, because you can see some parts are done, and this area, I don't know how to, if it's called shoddy work or what, but you can tell there's a school right behind the bridge, and this is what this is what is left with. I don't know if they wanted to connect stairs or something, but it's not done. So you can tell at the moment it's not complete, and the place is really, really dangerous. You can tell with the kids playing and all that, at any moment in time, if they lose focus for just a bit, and they are using this bridge and they are playing around and something happens, they can just fall. I don't even want to imagine what might happen. So this is what is happening. And then if you... the situation is quite disheartening for me this morning, because it is quite terrible. You can see the work which isn't complete with the steel bars and everything hanging around. If anything should happen, you can tell it's going to be terrible. It's going to be very, very terrible. So this is one of the footbridges here at the La Continent Medina Assembly area, and you can tell where we are at the moment, you can tell there are a number of hawkers on the bridge as well, plying their trade, and you can tell they're competing with pedestrians who are supposed to use the footbridge. So it's creating quite a competition as well. And then I would like to draw your attention that this is not the only area which isn't fixed. You can tell at the far end as well. I don't know, you notice a preacher man preaching and everything, and people out, you notice that area is also incomplete. There are also steel rods and everything poking out as well. And you can tell there are also traders trading underneath and all that. People, even though it's open to the public, the situation here, it's terrible. So at any moment, something can happen. So those who are not used to the footbridge and think it's open to the public, anybody can use it at any time. Something unfortunate may happen if they should use it at that side. And I would like to draw your attention also to the fact that there's a billboard here which is rusted. And then even while we were using the footbridge this morning, somebody was passing by and the shoulder just scratched the billboard. You can tell it's quite a dangerous situation. And we also have pedestrians competing with the hawkers who have turned this place into a brisk business venture, because instead of being at the market, they've decided to use the footbridge to sell their wares. I think it's high time we find a permanent solution to situations such as this, because you realize there is a market they are supposed to be at, but they prefer to sell their wares over here. I don't think we can say they are insensible or maybe they don't have any common sense not to be on the footbridge, but there are particular issues pertaining to them as to why they should sell on the footbridge. So it's high time we address it. Is it the location of the market which is not favoring them? Because when pedestrians are passing, they prefer to buy right here instead of moving to the market to buy? Or what exactly are the reasons why they prefer to always come here and sell on the footbridge and compete with pedestrians who are trying to find their way to work? You notice one kid is here minding his own business, and you can see from this kid, and at the far end of the bridge, another incomplete area. You can this one is even far, far worse. And school children always cross the bridge at this point. So you ask yourself, why has it been left like this for so long? Since the footbridge was constructed, this is how it's been. You can tell there's nothing stopping anybody from just going over at any time. The Resco flats are in the area beyond, and you can tell the scene here is quite pathetic, really, because at any moment anything can happen, and it's not even safe at the moment, because at any time this footbridge, the engineer has to come back and as soon as possible just fix the situation, because what we are seeing now is disturbing. It's quite unfortunate it has to be like this. And we hate to see that something might happen before they come and fix it. And if they can do that as quickly as possible to check anything, to prevent anything, any casualty of any sort, it will be best if they come back and address this as soon as possible. These are the distressing scenes I'm reporting from at the Keep an Eye at the La Ikotenan Madina area. So if the assembly is watching this, the engineers, whoever is in charge, if they can come and address these issues, that will help the situation very, very much. This is the Keep an Eye. My name is Jay Gabra. Back to you, Val, in the studios.
Medina, and the scenes we saw were very, 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 very disturbing. That's Keep an Eye, and that's our colleague Jay Capra. But we're still, today is World Heart Day, and one of our sponsors, Awake Purified Bottled Water. They are the first charity drinking water in Ghana, and today try as much as possible. Every time you feel thirsty, I may recommend it to your friends. Please, please, please buy Awake Purified Water, because the proceeds from Awake Purified Water go directly to the Cardiothoracic Center, where it goes to help needy children, especially who cannot afford medication and the cost of the medical bills. And so Awake Water, one for life. So remember, today is World Heart Day, and get Awake Purified bottled water, one bottle at least. You're still watching GTV Breakfast. We are live. Our hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast on all our social media handles. Later on, there's a conversation with the Minerals Commission. We'll still have the lifestyle channel. It is interactive, so remember to send your comments in on all our social media platforms and on our WhatsApp number as well. I'm handing over to you, Kaf.
Yes, indeed, and I think you should take Valerie's advice seriously, because Awake Purified Drinking Water, for every bottle that you buy, one peswa will be donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center, Kolebu. So, one for life. That's what you need to do. World Heart Day being today. And talking about hearts, 2 Hearts is the premium, it's a tree novella. I like that word. Yes. It's premiering on Lifestyle TV Monday, 4th of October at 8 p.m. Watch 2 Hearts telenovela from Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. sharp, right after. And then an omnibus is on Saturdays, 12 noon. Lifestyle TV, it's live, redefined. And then there's more, because there's an interactive chat with Lady Rita in the Lifestyle novella chat room every Saturday, 4 p.m. Lifestyle TV, it's live redefined. So remember, weekdays from 8 p.m. and then Sunday you have the omnibus, which happens at noon. So on Saturdays, I beg your pardon. Saturdays is where you have the omnibus, and then the chat is also on Saturday at 4 p.m. So weekdays 8 p.m. Saturdays for the omnibus 8 p.m. and Saturday 4 p.m. for the lifestyle chat. So join that. And then second chance is something that we want to also unveil to you. It's happening on the 5th of October on Lifestyle TV, Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Second chance. Omnibus is Sundays at 12 noon. So it's a lot of telenovelas for you to sink your teeth into. This is hashtag GTV Breakfast, and comments coming in on the floods. Government is always being blamed, but people dump refuse in gutters and expect government to clean it. Build on waterways when governments demolish, then we tag them as wicked. As people, we need to change our ways and put government on their toes. That's Abdul Latif from Pong Tema. I'll read another message for you. Good morning. This is on the military vehicles, armed soldiers escorting bank bullion vans. So good morning. This is Ben Apre from Cape Coast. Okay. Military escorting bullion vans doesn't change the equation. Bullets are blind. They don't see. They don't discriminate. I hope BOG must get a required bullion vans, the required bullion vans to support these banks at a low cost. Bullets that kill a police officer can equally kill a military officer. Talking of military officers, the Chief of Air Staff has been told not to go anywhere near Chado land. That's a court. The Land Division of the Accra High Court has ordered the Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Frank Hansen, and his officers not to set foot on a piece of land at Chado, which is subject to a legal dispute before the court. It's in today's Daily Graphic. Other stories, castration issues. Prostate can lead to castration, so if you're a man, be careful. Page 11 is there. Presidential jet, page 13. Budumbram goes down. Evictions begin tomorrow. So that's something to look forward to. My name is Kaf. Thelma comes and talks issues of mining with Mr. Mwanyi of the Minerals Commission. So you stay, and there's a conversation later on that I had with Kwame Nkrumah's cinematographer. Big word, but it just means Kwame Nkrumah's personal cameraman, and he has insights for all of us. You stay. This is hashtag GTV Breakfast, 29th September 2021, World Heart Day.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
They call me UJ.
Studio 1, this is the Breakfast.
When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pumpy, so we try was suicide. Let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the button go do, you go straight to start. And I'll take you to next level. Yeah, 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 yeah. The energy next level. But baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll take you to next level. Baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't code next level.
Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
From 1921 to 2021, the journey to our centenary has been amazingly worthy. Azar Group is 100 years and continues to achieve greatness.
Main brands which were in the company are Azar Tex, which is an emulsion paint, texture paints, which we were the first people to produce it in Ghana, and Azar Gloss, which is oil paint. We were the first people to produce the carpenter's glue. Now we have new products like a silicone paint.
Join Azar Group celebrate 100 years and to create another brilliant 100 years together.
Thanks for staying with us. It's World Heart Day, and we are focusing on keeping our hearts healthy. And the National Cardiothoracic Center has events lined up today to, and one of the suggestions is to drink more water. And we are proud that one of our sponsors, Awake Mineral Water, is a partner with the National Cardio Center to help as many people as possible who are going through the treatments. So buy Awake Water and then you contribute to that process as well. We are very proud. We are also proud of mybet.africa, and they help us relax and not to feel bored when we are home by helping us play virtual games, virtual soccer, spin to win, drops and wins, other exciting games. All you have to do is enter the bonus GTV and you get an instant bonus. So you get a bonus just for entering the code GTV, and you also get 100% money back guarantee if you lose your first bet. 100%. So you lose a bet, you get your money back the first time round. How exciting is that? So join the truly Ghanaian home of betting, and MyBet Africa is the home of betting. Thanks to our other sponsors, Shield Acrylic Paint. They've kept GBC's premises sparkling with the fresh coat of paint that we've had recently. Also, special thanks to Adonko Next Level Energy Drink. We are having this chat with the Minerals Commission once again, as we do every Wednesday, and we are focusing on the minerals and mining where it relates to health regulations, so specifically regulation LI 2182. Last week we considered the requirements for quarry mining, and we also looked at the importance and the benefits of the quarry operations to the mining community and even the broader general population in the country. Today we are joined once again by Mr. John Amwenyi, Deputy Chief Inspector of Mines of the Minerals Commission, and we are going to delve a bit more into the operations of the quarry sector. Mr. Amwenyi, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Reiterate for us once again the importance of the quarry sector. What kind of products are we talking about, and how do they benefit us who are not even miners?
The product we are talking about is the granite. We are talking about the granite. The most of the quarries, the product, the granite. And then, as I was saying last week, we use this for sea defense. So through the sea defense, we save life, we save land. So we also protect life. So the sea defense is used. We also the quarrying also provide employment for people in the assembly. Also support the income of the assembly, the local economy, and then also as the national economy. They also just support all those things.
Right. And these people who work in the quarry sector, we know that their health is important, but also important is the health of the environment in which they work. So, for example, there are health issues which impose some dangers. Talk to us about that.
Like for the dust, you see, the operations produce dust. So dust is a health issue. We are also talking about the noise from the blast. It's also a health issue. We are also talking about the flying rocks, which is it's a safety issue from the blast. And then we are talking about the vibration, the air blast, that is the air over pressure. They are all safety issues.
Okay. What does the regulation say with regards to managing these things that you've mentioned? So, dust, noise, vibrations, and flying.
That one it has a provision for that. So for the dust, we use the suppression system, and then you also you have to look into your practices, the blasting practices, the number of holes to be drilled, and so on and so forth. And then also, because these dangers, we know these dangers are ahead. That's why we don't want people to come closer to where the operations are going on, because if there will be a blast, that is the only means, or that's the only method we use to extract the product.
And that's why the Commission is taking steps to fight encroachment on quarry sites.
Yes. And then that is why we are doing that. We don't want people to come closer to the quarries because of how the operation is. For now, we only extract through the blasting method. using explosives to do the blasting.
Remind us again what the distance is, the safe distance from a community to a quarry site.
Okay, for per the regulation, that is the explosive regulation. It says the exclusion zone, the minimum exclusion zone is 500. So that is what the regulation says. So all that we are saying
500
meters.
Meters.
And then it could be more, depending on your operations. If your practices are not good, it can also be extended. But this is the minimum, the distance from the quarry. So what we are saying is that always the quarry, the radius of 500 need to be maintained. We shouldn't allow people to come closer because of the dangers the quarry pose. So we don't want people to come closer to where the quarry operations are going on.
Apart from dust, noise, and flying rocks, there are also dangers with gases that could also affect the persons who work in the community.
Yes. So because of the explosive we use, you say the explosives are a mixture of gases, and when you detonate, it releases those gases. So those people within the working areas, they are provided with the PPE, that is the personal protective equipment. So you have a nose guard, you have the ear mount, which we and then also you have a helmet for the protection. So all those people working
and all this is spelled out in the regulation.
Yes, if you have to the provision, the operator needs to provide all these safety gadgets to the operators.
And how, under what circumstances will the quarry sites be closed, for example?
Yeah, for the this one, I just want to put a caution across, because at times you will hear assembly people closing the quarry and then so on and so forth. The quarry can only be shut down by the person who issues the license and the person who issues the operating permit, and then the mines inspectors. They can just issue and then we have for the regulation, that is the LI 218222. If the operator is contravening any of the provisions in the regulation, and then which is said that the operations now become a danger to the public or danger to those surroundings, then the inspector will just issue the prohibition notice for the shutdown of the quarry. Also, if also it is satisfied by the minister that the operator is convicted of an offense relating to smuggling or illegal sale or dealing in the minerals.
We're used to smuggling of gold and cocoa and the rest. Are you saying quarry products are also smuggled?
Yes, if it becomes clear that people are exported, because some of the countries, they don't even have this type of like the quarry products. They don't have. That is why we need to be very careful, because if we don't take care to protect this products or this mineral, it will come to a time we have to import, and then that one will be a very, very, very serious to the country, because without the quarry product, the country cannot develop. So we are always talking about development. We should construct schools, we should construct hospitals, we should construct overheads and the flyovers and so on and so forth. And then all these things are done using the quarry product. That's the Ghana, to be specific. So if we don't protect this product, then we are dead.
So what are some of the sanctions then that, apart from being shut completely, are there other sanctions that a company can be slapped with for engaging in these malpractices?
Yes, if you go, that's what I'm saying, there's a provision notice. If they will ask you to just stop work. So if you refuse to just stop work, then there's a sanction they will just impose on the quarry operator. So always, as the area one I said, there is a provision for all the person who go contrary to the provisions of the regulation. So if you go contrary, it can be stopped. But whilst stopping, there is also avenue for you to just come back. If you are able to fulfill what is, like if there is an unsafe condition at your site and then you are able to just rectify that unsafe condition, then you can just be applied to the chief inspector of mines. You can be asked to just come to work. At times, people also use unqualified people at the quarry site. So if the people working there, they are not qualified to work there, especially the explosive, the blast people, those people engage in the blasting activity, you need to have the blast certificate of competency, which is issued by the chief inspector of mines. So if the person working there, they don't have those certification, then the quarry will be shut down. So those are central, because if that's something you're talking about, the 500 even zone. If the practices are not good, it can still cause people to it can just cause the flying rocks to even throw over the 500 the radius.
Okay.
So what we are saying is that we don't want people to encroach the quarry. Because more you encroach, you see, one of the conditions also for shutting is if it becomes necessary for the interest of the public. If people encroach the quarry site, at a point, every blast, it will cause harm.
Okay.
You see, and then it's caused damage. It can even kill. So once the whole quarry has been encroached, at a point,
it has to be shut down.
It has to be shut down. We have some quarries at the Etiwa quarry, or Palm Krum, or so it's called, or Palm Krum, Kuma or so. We have ECM quarry, which is also shut down. We have so many quarries. If you go to Takoradi, you have a James Shon quarry.
Someone reached out to us about one in the Kaswa area, and last week you said you were going to have a look.
And then they are saying they are far away, so I've given to the inspectors, because if they are far away from the quarry or they are beyond the 500, then we need to look at their blasting practices.
Right.
If whether they are doing more holes or they are also overcharging, I was talking about the charge density or the powder factor of the explosives. If the powder factor is high, it will cause this vibration and another thing. So, which we need to just look at the practices of those the operations.
So it's always like time flies when you are here, because the questions sometimes we want to keep going on and on, but because of the time factor, we are bringing this regulation LI 2182. We are gradually winding down on that. What would be your final take on this? 30 seconds so before we wrap.
What I will say,
we have to link to our next.
This time I want to just stress on the quarry and then the encroachment.
A quick one then.
So, because the assembly, they determine the land use. So if they can just help us so that people are not giving the permit. Also, the operators are also being engaged that they need to acquire that that land, so that they can even use that area for planting of these teak trees, which is also can catch some of the dust. So, and then it's also a cash crop. We are not saying that people cannot do anything on the that radius. What we are saying is that it shouldn't be a burden.
Okay.
But we can just cultivate, or we can just plant trees, cash crops, and all the farming, any farming we would like to get.
Mr. Mwenye, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. On LI 2182 is the Minerals and Mining Health, Safety and Technical Regulation 2012 law, and we've been discussing what it means for quarry operations, the importance of the quarry operations themselves to our national development. We know that it helps us to keep our infrastructures up. So granite used for building roads, hospitals, schools, all the things that we see around are benefits of what we get from the quarry operations, and so we need to keep the operations safe and the people in those communities safe as well. Thank you, Mr. John Amwenyi, Deputy Chief Inspector of Mines at the Minerals Commission, for sharing your thoughts on this matter with us, as we do every Wednesday morning, our time with the Minerals Commission. And in other segments, CAF had a chat with Reverend Hesse, who is Ghana's President Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's cinematographer, and he shared a wealth of information and knowledge with him in that chat, and we'll revisit that conversation, and we'll be back with so much more on the lifestyle segment on the Yellow Couch with Val. But let's listen to wisdom words from Reverend Hesse, the Osajifo cinematographer.
Thank you for watching GTV Breakfast, and in the spirit of celebrating the life and times of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, we've caught up with celebrated filmmaker, cinematographer, and official cameraman for the first president of this country. Mr. Chris Hesse is our guest today. Come with me and let's find out his fascinating life and his experiences with Kwame Nkrumah.
Welcome to GTV Breakfast. Thank you. It's a real delight to have you here. And when I was doing my research about you, I found that you did so many things. We could spend 2 hours talking about everything you've done. But for today, we're going to just limit our time to your interaction with Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who would have been 112
12 years this year. I want you to cast your mind back to the first ever interaction with Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, because you ended up being his, you documented a lot of things that he did officially. You filmed his life, really. You documented his life. Yes, indeed. Can you catch your mind back the first time you met him and how it came that you were the one to film his life?
Yeah, when I graduated from the West African School, at that time it was 56. We had our independence, then 57 had our independence. And at the school, it's about filmmaking. You train all the disciplines. And then the authorities will tell you to major one discipline at the last year of your course. So they saw that I had a taste in cinematography, which to me was true. So I was asked to meet up cinematography, which I did. So I was sent to the camera department. And the camera department, we were only 3. It was headed by one George Noble, an Englishman. And then my middle boss was Arufenuku, who actually made me what I am today, and myself. But George was a huge person, big stomach, and my middle boss Fenuku was also huge. That was a tiny thing, the camera department. So when the time of shooting, it's like documentaries and news, though I was the assistant, but I was shooting, and it was suitable for them to send me on these errands because a lot of running, a lot of carrying the camera, and those days it was the RFS 35mm camera with a huge battery here. So you are overloaded. At times you have to carry all these things and do the 100 yards in 1 second. And I did a lot of stuff. During those days I was playing tennis and long tennis. So I enjoyed running these things. So they were sending me news about Kwame Nkrumah. Then, as is normally said in Parliament, I caught the eye of our film. And he wanted to know who I came from because he was seeing me around. Then to cut matters short.
And this was Flaxer House, where he asked you the question?
No, he wanted to know.
Okay.
Not, he didn't ask me. He asked
from around?
Yeah, from around, yeah. The cabinet people, and the cabinet secretary, and Diana. And then they explained to him. Then it was agreed that I should be seconded to his department, to Flaxer House. So I was sent there. But I was still at the film industry, but I was assigned and officially accepted at Flaxer House, the British cameraman.
What did that mean to you, to be seconded to the department?
Primarily speaking, I was going to film, but politically speaking, I couldn't believe that at the age of 26, 25, 26, I've been assigned to the president. And I was reading the news, but I realized that there was more to it. See? And I was assigned to his office. We were talking together, and this tiny little small boy talking to the president. He was asking me questions about film, etc., etc.
He was curious about what you did?
Yeah, because he had a scene, he had a projector. In a first hour, he had a projector. So they would look at the news, he would look at everything. And he was enjoying what I was doing. And he was a strong believer in the motion picture because he knew the power of film, and that had been his dream to strengthen the film industry. So I wanted to know whether I really understood what I was doing.
Almost like a test.
Oh, yeah.
How are you feeling when you were asking you these questions?
No, technically, I was qualified. And I read a lot. I've read a lot. So I was teaching about filmmaking. He was also learning from me.
You became a student, in a way.
Correct. Film student, but
the president or the prime minister.
Yeah. And he noticed that I love arts. And he loved arts. So we had a common meeting point. And I was just the same of the person. He had his table over there. And I man near the main door. And he was from there he would ask questions. Then things started changing. See, because of the news and we had our independence, and now it became so the prime minister more or less, we had, it was after the public that he became the president. He was then running the affairs of the state. And was always asking questions.
Like what?
No, about how do you find the sun? Have you watched the sun this morning? I said, oh yes, sir. What did you see? About creation. Then quite I started learning. I started noticing certain things from him. And his way of talking about the world. And my father had been talking like that. My father was a priest of the Present Church. He'd been talking about life. I was talking about the same thing. He could say that well read. So the best thing is to quietly sit at the foot of Mama and learn. But we were talking. And what surprised me first was I was looking at myself as a small boy. See, face to face with my head and the head of state. And the goodness said that we should travel. And we come to say, sit down. We're traveling. So we have been informed that we were traveling. We are leaving this place soon. And let's see. He gave me the whole program, his thinking, the government's plan, why I was going there.
Oh, he was giving background to the trip.
We were sharing. Anytime we travel now, he would discuss the program with me.
Why do you think he did that?
Yeah, because
you were not a government secretary.
I am not, yes. But I'm the film man. And I'm bringing the story back to the other man in the street. So the other man in the street should understand why he went. This was a vision.
So it was like a mini production meeting.
Correct. We had our own production meeting. You planned everything with me. We did the policy of the government. We are going to do this. And he was talking to me like an elderly person. Hey. So anytime, and creatively kept those things in my mind. So I had a script in my mind before the trip. because I knew his policies.
So then you knew what shot to take and how to edit.
Yeah. I knew everything. Then, at the end of the discussion, at a certain point, he started calling me my son.
Ah.
Yeah, that was, where is my son? Where he was, that was my name at that house. No. I said, I have briefed you. I wanted to know where we are going, because it's not a fun trip. We're going to work and present Ghana and make money for me. You can find help for Ghana to grow and become a first world nation also. So, that's our program. Now, it is from you as the free man. So it's for you to translate all I've told on the film, so that the only man in the state will understand why the trip should not be taken as a fun.
Not a jolly ride.
No. It's a working trip, and that's how it should be.
So it's serious business?
Business, serious business.
You were in a very privileged position to be hearing all these things, him breaking down from his own mouth.
And it was an advantage because he was a strong believer in the cinema. He believed that film was a strong tool for education. Film was a strong tool for enhancing people's life. The motion picture. Yeah. So he wasn't joking with it.
Do you think those sentiments apply to today? Do you still feel that film is a strong tool for development?
I don't think so. No, you see, it depends on the person's ideas, his ideology. It depends. In life, you have a mission and a vision. And there are some people who come and they want to make money. You can make money. There are some people who come, they want to do, they want to build, they want to do this. Yes.
But I thought about film as a tool for...
It was part of his plan.
Do you think people were jealous of the access you had to the head of state? Because this is a man who pours all his thoughts out to you, is now calling you my son. Did you sense that there were people who were thinking, where is this one boy from and how come he has so much access to Sajifo?
No, my mind wasn't there because everybody will God all things are possible. It's a statement, will God all things are possible. So we came to accept certain principles. God all things are possible. So whether you hate me or you don't like me, it is your problem, not mine. And I have my film problem. And I don't want additional problem because my head, I have only one brain, one head. And I don't want it to be expanded, to expand to cause explosion in my mind.
So you focus on your own problems?
Yeah, my own problems first. Let me solve my problem is film. Now I have to concentrate. So, travel, come back, do the editing, upside down in mind, make sure that everything is well presented. Then copies are made, he sees the copy. Beautiful. But there's a short wave. I say, I know about that short. Yeah, because I do have, and then we balance the equation and slap me on the shoulder. Sit down. And this had been his lifestyle.
And he was like this all throughout?
All throughout. Anywhere we went, whether United, whether I was going to address the UN state visit to Soviet Union, Britain, or other places,
How about domestic visits within Ghana? If you had to go and visit some region, would he brief you and then...
Yeah, we talk about it. We talk about this. If you say because that is local, we talk about it, but there must be a reason why that trip, and we share with me.
Let's talk about one of the trips. So, at some point in time in 1960, Osajefo sent you off to Congo.
Yeah.
Why?
We had them come back from San Aquile. So, from Morocco. For conference, non-aligned conference, yes, non-aligned. And we arrived, the plane told down about 6 p.m. By the time I got home, it was about 11 o'clock in the evening, the night. So I was so tired. And I was just offloading my thing then. I was in lock. I was in my father's house to soup. Then Ambrosia, security woman, came to my house and said, Sergeant should come to Flat Airport at 12 midnight. And I will travel to the Congo. Congo. I said, this was exact to Congo. Yeah, well, at 12 midnight. But we are going with Major General Alexander because the cabinet secretary of the UN, then Secretary Nurse, had requested Nkrumah to send troops to the Congo. And Major General Alexander, who was then the CS,
Chief of Defense Staff,
was being sent on a wreck. So the woman would like to go with him, and the plane leaves at 12 midnight. So I repacked and 12 minutes were off. Even first of all the recce, and then when our troops arrive, and what they will do as part of the war.
So you were there for how long?
8 months.
8 months in the Congo.
Yeah.
And I understand you were given the rank.
And I was a captain. I was a captain in the army.
Captain Hesse.
Correct. Sir.
Because I know people like the former head of state, Achampong, was in Congo, and other.
It was the military army was headed by Sri Lanka, but he was there in Kenya. In the army. So we headed.
What kind of things did you film there?
Oh, a lot. And I was the first cameraman to set foot in the Congo. All my materials were sent to the BBC.
Wow.
So they use my materials. And I worked a lot with Ankara because he was then the commander. But General Alexander had to come back. Most of the people were not using guns and they were using bows and arrows. And it was the slightest touch to your skin could take it was very poisonous. The tip was very poisonous. So it was dangerous.
And you covered scenes of people who were shot there, who were killed with these things.
Oh, yeah. Then, unfortunately, Lumumba, Kasabu.
They had a falling out.
Lumumba was killed.
He was killed when you were there?
Yeah, he was killed when I was there. And it was another story altogether. But unfortunately, the materials, I don't know where the materials are.
This is serious archival stuff that must be found.
Yeah.
Because
No, I don't think
it can be found.
Yeah.
This is your Congo adventure.
Yeah.
And then you came out to Ghana, you covered so many other things. Let's talk about some of the tragic or sad ones. So there were attempts on Osajofo's life. Several attempts.
Yeah.
What comes to mind is that Amatewi, what comes to mind is Kunungungu. Were you close to him when these things were happening?
I missed death.
And it's still breakfast on GTV Breakfast. That's the hashtag to follow. You know, we are celebrating Kwame Nkrumah the whole of September, and tomorrow is the last day of September. So we'll be bringing you the final piece of Skafui's sit down with the legendary Kwame Nkrumah cinematographer, Reverend Dr. Chris Hesse will be bringing you the final piece tomorrow. But we are still keeping an eye, and we are going to my colleague Alan, and Alan is around the Bosche market area, and we are going to him now. Alan, I like the yes that you just said. Alan, what's happening?
Hi, good morning and welcome once again, Valerie. Thanks to lifestyle, you find that my
shirt water change as well.
Is now changed into a t-shirt. Valerie, let me ask you, where will you be on Monday night?
Monday night at 8 p.m. I'll be glued to my television on Lifestyle channel because, hey, guess what? On Tuesday morning, we have to come and give everybody the 411. 411 in my language is filler. So yes, I'll be behind my screens monitoring the premiere of Lifestyle and then of Two Hearts. So tell us what's happening at the Bosche market.
Well, let me bring you quickly into the Bosche market. This Bosche market is part of the Dr. Hilal Liman's Legoman project, where on the far end of which points towards the northwards to where I'm standing, you have projects today referred to as Red Coal Flat. Because the government abandoned it, the residents went to court, landowners went to court, and the land was reverted back to them. That's how come you have Red Coal Flat. It would have been part of the Dr. Hilal Liman's Legoman project. Now back to the market. This market is under the authority of the Nkwantanan Municipal Assembly, and they have charge of it. It was built to take care of those who trade by the road. But unfortunately, the traders abandoned the market and they are back on the street, and so revenue which would have otherwise been generated from the market is actually being lost to the market going on the street. And guess what the market has become? The market purposely built for them has now become a den for beggars who come from all walks of life across the sub-region. And then the market stores or sheds built for trading purposes has now become unauthorized residents, and so your guess is as good as mine what they become. In the distance, you see the market on the far end of this entire stretch. What you don't see on my side of the market is anybody doing anything as far as trading is concerned. What you have is these market stores turned into mini chalets and have become a haven for social deviants. You have kids from all over every other nationality across the West African sub-region running around here. You don't know who the parents are, and we're told these are the same kids you find on the streets as you approach this part of Legon from Shiashi, Okonglo, and parts of Medina begging. These are the kids who run around here, and what you can see very surely in your view will be some of the market stores or shed turned into mini chalets or mini residents, and it's a bit disheartening knowing that the Nkwantanan Municipal Assembly could take advantage of the market to generate revenue for maintaining some of the issues raised with Jay's Keep an Eye earlier. I really don't know whether or not these assembly workers really do have an idea what they are missing out or what they're losing in terms of revenue to these unauthorized residents created where it is supposed to be a market. I sometimes wonder how come we look on and we allow such things to happen. Valerie, it's heartbreaking. It really is, because you can't imagine how much revenue has been pumped into building this market, and it's being converted to a unauthorized residence for all other manner of persons to make this into their kind of home. How can a market become a home?
You've spoken to
whether it is good or not, your guess is as good as mine, and the jury is still out on whether or not this residence is allowed.
Right, I'm sure the authorities that be keeping an eye and listening and watching us. But Alan, I wanted to ask you if you spoke to any of the market women who have left the market allocated to them onto the streets, if you could ask them why they are not in the market and outside of the market. Because this problem of relocating traders and they moving onto the streets and leaving the stalls empty, this is not new. Yeah. Yes, Alan.
Val, there are excuse beggars believe, to be honest with you. You know what they tell me? They tell me if they are in the market, they don't get to sell their goods. But then those who are at the entrance of the market are the ones who catch all the trade, and they don't get anything. And so they go out there rather on the street in order to crush buyers or people who have come into the markets to buy. If you have the benefit of the eye in the sky, you would come to understand exactly what I'm talking about. You have the market rather on the street, and the stores are virtually empty.
Yeah, we have that on our screens now. We saw that earlier. We got the bird's eye view. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Alan, for bringing us those reports. That was my colleague, Alan Darrow, who came to us from the Bosch market, and we saw those disheartening scenes. So if the authorities that are watching and listening, that's keep an eye, and this is GTV Breakfast. Like I said, you know how I always lighten the mood and set the tone right. I have a beautiful young woman in the studio. She's a singer. She says her kind of music is Afro spiritual. Is it new to you? Remember that our show is interactive, so you can send us messages via WhatsApp number 05555610034 or on our social media pages. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. My guest is Enam. Amazing and beautiful, and welcome to the studio.
Valerie.
Thank you. Welcome to the studios of GTV. You look amazing.
You look awesome too, darling.
Thank you. Me, I want to ask you about your hair. I want to ask you about your hair. I know it's part of your brand and everything, but give me the candid opinions. I mean, some of the candid comments you get from people who meet you for the first time.
Okay, the most common one is it heavy?
Yeah,
okay.
I asked that.
Just don't blow it, but that's the common answer I get. I get most of it. People ask me, oh, how do you sleep with it? Do you take it off when you want to sleep? Or how do you manage it? How do you, I mean, a lot of questions. But it's not heavy. This is my hair. And I have this hair. It's making me feel more powerful than I have ever been in this life. I have done so many things. I have tried a lot of hairstyles, but I know deep in somewhere in my past life, I was part of Bob Marley's family.
You said your past life, guys.
Yes, in my past life, I was part of Bob Marley's family.
Right.
Deep in there somewhere, because I love Bob Marley. I love Bob Marley.
Wait. Don't take everything out of my things. I have things planned out.
Okay.
So, you actually, from the research we did, you are a priestess of the Yahweh shrine.
Yes.
Do you know what that means?
Not.
Pause. Ghanaians will find out what it means and why you say you're a priestess of that shrine.
I'm a singing goddess of the Yahweh shrine.
Don't worry, you have all the time to explain, because a lot of people will be asking me questions.
All right.
So we are going to take a detour to Enam's video. The video is entitled No More, and it's coming on your screens now. So enjoy.
Yes, it. What's it?
See those songs when you hear, like, you just jump to it as soon as you hear it. This is one kind. Shalena, I'm liking your vibe. I'm loving your righty. So let's get into knowing who you are. And I'm the musician, and I'm the singer, and I'm the priestess of the Yahweh Shrine.
Yeah.
Tell us who you are then.
I'm an Afro spiritualist, simply because my genre of music is Afro spiritual. That is what I'm trying to introduce into the market. Singing for me started on a different note. I know most musicians started singing from the church, but I started singing in the shrine. I grew up in the shrine where people were bringing sick people in, and then through a word of singing or just through the Yahweh chant sing, they get healing. People come with a lot of burdens and they get comforted only from listening to the goddesses of the Yahweh Shrine sing. And my great-grandmothers were those musicians at that time. And the legacy still lives on, and there are still people in the shrine till date who sing to heal people. But I'm here. I have the opportunity to be exposed to the world. And this is an amazing thing that I feel would be very helpful. My music is more therapeutic. Apart from it being enjoyed and only vibed to, apart from enjoying it and vibing to it, when you listen, whatever the message is, you get the therapy aspect of it, you get the therapeutic aspect of it, and then you get the feeling you are supposed to get. So that is what Afro spiritual music is about. Laying true feelings naked on beat, how it should be, undiluted.
Okay, pause on that. Somebody sent a comment and wants to know the kind of music that heals people at the Yahweh Shrine. So since that was what introduced you into this broad form of music, maybe you can give us a little of how it sounds like. I'm curious to know. I'm sure a lot of people just know as well.
Oh, okay. Anyao bajo bajolo, anyao bajo bajolo, mikpo rara la nyama, mikpo rara la nyama, adolala wana jo, anu bara wana jo. Adolala ona bu, anu bara ona bu. Adolala ona bu, adolala ona bu. Anu bara ona bu, anu bara ona bu. Adolala o katan ojolo.
Okay, that's dope. Absolutely dope. What does it mean? What does it mean? I don't understand the thing, but I just felt it. What does it mean?
It means all the bad tidings should go far away, and all the sicknesses should just leave, and let's just have peace and freedom. Let's just be.
Okay, Ghana. So you guys have met the priestess of the Yahweh Shrine, and she actually sang some of the songs they sing in there, and it heals people, she says, and I think this is amazing. Truly, truly Ghanaian. Now let's come back to you. Afro spiritualist, but then in your bio it says you do hip hop, you do rap, you can do all forms of music. Don't you think you need to stick to one?
Okay, it's all one because it all boils down to Afro spiritualist. And then rap and singing has something in common. It all has a purpose. Rap comes in when someone needs to listen and when it's not all about the rhythm. You understand? So I don't think as an artist I have to be limited to what I am supposed to give out there because we all need it. It's music at the end of the day. So I don't think I should pick a fragment if I can serve the purpose and let the people have what they have. The goal is not about rap or the fact that I can do R&B, hip-hop or anything at all. The goal is doing therapeutic music, which is Afro spiritual music. No matter the genre, the beat, the type of beat, the message sticks the same.
Sure. Let me put you on the spot again.
Okay.
Just because you are creative and you are giving me back-to-back vibes, let's put you on the spot for rap, freestyle. It's in your bio, no? You can rap.
Okay.
So freestyle.
It's after 6 and a day here just to watch your pictures until you hit it. Yo, I was missing. And I did right here reminiscing. It be you on my mind. Boy, you treat me very good. You make me very happy. And I wish you were my boo. I wish you were my boo. So my baby, oh. So my baby, oh.
Okay. Now, see, we don't have a lot of time. I wish I could have for like 1 hour and then we go back to back. Who, on the top of your head, your favorite 5 Ghanaian artists?
Favorite 5?
Yes. Top of your head.
Okay. Number 1 is Black Sherif. Not because he is all over the place, but I just believe he is truly talented and he is amazing. He has something refreshing and new no one is doing. I love artists like that who do their own unique thing in their own way.
Just like yourself. So, Black Sherif.
I love
number
Black
1.
Sherif. I love Sarkodie.
2.
Sarkodie is amazing. He's sending Ghana all over the world.
King Sak.
King Sak.
So, number 3.
Number 3. I love
Okay, so
well,
somebody
I named 2.
It's fine. Why did you name 2? You can't find the rest of the 3.
I can find the rest because I don't want to end up mentioning some names. Then, I mean, I love everybody, but honestly, I want to mention Black Sherif.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I love Black.
Stop on your list.
Yes,
right.
stop.
Okay. Cool. There's a message coming in on our WhatsApp, and this is for you. It says, I was expecting a real spiritual music, not what you shown us. What you just Charlie, construct your thing so that I can read it well. But he's saying that what you just sang in Ewe is dope, and that's the kind of vibe we're looking for. What went into No More? What went into No More? What inspired you to make No More? Did one of your friends snitch up on you? That's what's happening lately.
I mean, all the friends are snitching of late. I mean, since love never gets old-fashioned, betrayal never does too. So as humanity still keeps trying to find true connections and bond on this face of the earth, betrayal is bound to happen, and that's why people always put on the friendly mask, pretending with their ulterior motive just to be like they are friends.
Charlie, and we should have you on here and be our shade queen for the yellow couch. Maybe I'll talk to the producer, but you are throwing a lot of shade.
Position taken.
How's your music? How's your music doing? What the feedback you're getting? We have a little time.
I mean, I'm having amazing feedback, especially Afro spiritual music. I believe is going to take Ghana somewhere. I'm very happy. I have a whole wave. I have amazing people who are supporting me. I'm getting calls. I'm getting
Look,
support.
you have lots of messages and people are loving you. People are loving you. Where can we find you on social media? So I'm sure you have lots of fans now.
Yes.
People can follow you.
On Instagram is enammusic__. The same with Twitter, and then enamgh on Snapchat. Enam Music on Facebook and Enam Music on YouTube. Please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Watch No More because I shot the video in the middle of a river. Go and see it. And follow me on Instagram, enammusic__. The same too on Twitter.
Right, guys. So we've been spending time with Enam. She is amazing. My producer will kill me for this, but Charlie, I need to have you do No More, just the chorus, so we can have a feel of your voice one more time.
I thought I am a downfall.
Sun up and me downfall. Oh no no, oh no no, oh no no. I thought you were my downfall. Sun up and me downfall. Oh no no, oh no no, oh no no.
Right. Thank you, and it's been amazing having you. We'll be having you here back to back.
Oh
so
yeah, I'll be so happy.
Thank you for passing through. We've been speaking with Anna Music. Her song No More is out. Go out, check her music out, share her music, promote her stuff, and that's the only way we can promote Ghanaian culture and proper Ghanaian music. Sabira, today is your birthday, and this is a special one going out to you from your brother Iliasu. And then also Kwade Kwade has been an ardent watcher of GTV Breakfast, and he's just sent us some message. So Kwade, kudos to you. We're going to take a quick break. Like I said, we're trying to put away all the negativity that COVID brought and try to revive the creative arts industry, and the cinemas are back. And so we're going to be talking to somebody from Silverbird, and then they'll be telling us what they have in store for all the creative people here in Ghana. We'll take a quick break.
They pretend like they don't see you, but they really want to see you. People, but for the show.
Where me I'm from no be easy, but I got a brighter tomorrow. The fire we get no be easy, but people that do like they know. Yes, we have baby. No be a man yo, family in click slow. Now what that done yo. Sick and every news in your main version. Keep on the brain, brother, money go pay. You there with a big dream, boy, you know what I'm saying. Sick and so here I go get it. Yeah, I get palanya check para cantina ne kama yamo. Adamu chovi vichi maya tani mabo amato. Life is to show like a nigga. Going for trap for a nigga. Oh, this your dear. We no go do one night. I got a dream, nigga. Let me depends on me that you're more, nigga. I got a dream, nigga. Let me hotter than all my colleagues, nigga. I got a dream, nigga. Let me private jets and while I'm alone, nigga. I got a dream, nigga. Let me just take out my one, nigga. Shine every news in your main sure. Keep up with the grind, brother, man. You do with a bigger dream, boy, you know what I'm saying. She got the shit, yeah, I could get it.
Money be the root of evil, but poverty they kill some people. Brother, for they make that money, whether you be just or illegal. Don't let nobody deceive you. Don't make everybody go believe you. They pretend like they don't see you, but they really wanna be you.
Welcome back, and Silverbird is officially back, and this weekend, sometime during the week as well, all roads will be leading to the Silverbird cinemas. And I don't know if you heard about it, but 007 is back with a bang. And we have Nana Yao Chumberima. He is the business manager for Silverbird Cinemas Ghana, and he's in studio to speak to us. Hi, Nana Yao.
Hello.
Lord, I see you in the corner. Hi, Nana Yao. What's up?
You seem excited.
Yes, I am. And Adam's music, I think, is spiritual. It's sort of, you know.
It's beautiful. It motivated me already.
It did, huh? Yes. You need to be giving out some. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
We will.
Sure. Okay, so what's happening with Silverbird? So the 25th movie of the 007 franchise is hitting the screens on the 1st of October. But, you know, we get to see it first with a pre-screening happening on the 30th. And Nanaya is going to tell us and give us all the nitty-gritties and schmooze us into going to the Silverbird cinemas. Hi again. Hi. So what are Ghanaians, what should we expect?
All right, so your favorite cinema is back. We were shut down for, well, a long while, but we've been back since July. And yes, we are back again with your favorite movies. You get to see 007 James Bond, No Time to Die, this weekend. But guess what? You can also see it before the rest of the world this Thursday.
Sure.
Exclusively for Ghanaians, just for Ghanaians, for the 007 movie this weekend.
That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Thursday.
That's
yes.
tomorrow. What?
But the world premiere is on Friday.
No, the one that Ghanaians get to see, the exclusive one, that's on
tomorrow, 30th.
What time?
So we have a 7:30 show, and we have a 10 p.m. show.
Okay. Yeah. You know, with all the COVID restrictions and the protocols going on, is there a particular number you're looking at? Because we do not want the number to where we're going to announce it. Okay, so that's the trailer showing on our screens now. I don't think we want a situation where we come and the whole place is crowded. So is there a specific number? How do we go about ticketing? I mean, this is we are in a new world order now.
Right.
So how are things being done newly at the Silverbird Cinemas?
Okay, so you're right about that, and measures are already in place to make sure the place is not crowded. Actually, tomorrow's show is quite exclusive, so we have a very limited number of people coming to the cinemas for the pre-screening.
Okay, how exclusive is it? We want to know the people who are on there. Which special people are getting the exclusivity?
Okay, so we have some sponsors on the movie. They get in a hall, and a few seats, very limited seats, open to the public as well. That one is almost running out, but well, there are a few left for anyone who gets there on time.
Earlier, I asked about the COVID protocols.
Right.
Are we going to be seeing hand sanitizers? Are people going to be walking around the cinemas with the thermometer guns? Please, we want to know exactly what's happening.
I'm going to tell you exactly what's happening.
Sure.
Okay. So Silverbird Cinemas is the only shop inside Accra Mall with very stringent protocols, COVID protocols. So before you enter the cinemas, you are required to even wash your hands with soap. You get your temperature taken, and like I said, it's the only shop in the mall where we take your details, personal details, before you are allowed even into the space, not the cinema proper, even at the foyer. So we're taking your names, we're taking your phone numbers, we're taking your temperatures. So in case, and God forbid, there is an outbreak, at least we can do all the contact tracing for people who had been there for the day. So we have these records of everyone coming to Silverbird since we've been opened. There are hand sanitizers everywhere. There are humidifiers everywhere. So yes, we are good to go, and you are safe.
Okay. So because I'm still talking about this, how did Silverbird fare when the cinemas were closed? How did it fare in terms of, like, you know, keeping up? Did you communicate with your fans? How did this, during that time when things were really bad, how did it fare?
Okay, so we were the hardest hit industry in Ghana. So much so that after everyone was allowed back to work, we were still home. We were home for 16 months, if my memory serves. But yes, we still managed to keep our staff on their toes whilst they were at home. So we don't have to start recruiting all over again when the business was opened. Yeah, so it was a bit challenging, well, very challenging. But thankfully, when the restrictions were lifted, we happen to be the only cinema active now. All other cinemas are trying to get back on their feet. But Silverbird is active, and it's safe, and it's no time to die. So
no time to die. Maybe you can give us you can give us a little brief. What is 007 doing this time that's different? And
okay, so I wish I wouldn't give any spoilers. Our patrons hate it when we have to give out the gist, but just a little. So yes, so 007 thinks he's on break. He's gone off work. He's inactive. He's holidaying. He's enjoying his life. So the call comes, and then he needs to go protect this scientist. That is where all the action starts, you know. So I will leave it to that, and viewers will get to see it firsthand when they get to the cinemas.
Where ticketing? How are we going about ticketing? How do we get tickets? Is it the normal routine where you either get the early bird tickets or you go to the cinemas?
Okay,
what's happening
so now it's better. You can get your tickets online on all our handles, Silverbird Ghana. So
Silverbird Ghana.
On Twitter, on IG, on Facebook. Get to these handles, and there will be people there to assist you get your ticket. You don't have to walk to the cinema hall to buy tickets again.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. When do the... Well, I have to say this is a special birthday celebration. It's actually two siblings, and they celebrate their birthday on the same day today. That is Air Commodore Nana Edu Jimfi, Ghana Air Force Base, Accra, and Equiasika Edu Jimfi, Germany. Happy birthday to you too. Ooh, there must be a lot of party in the house, man. Two siblings the same day. Wow.
Nice.
Right, let's get back to our conversation. How do we go about ticketing?
Yes. So all our handles, Silverbird Ghana, you get on there. There are links. There are people on customer service 24/7.
Silverbird Ghana.
Silverbird
Ghana. Every
social media network or handle.
Yes. What time do the gates open?
For 007 or for Silverbird proper?
No, for 007.
Thursday, which is tomorrow, gates open at 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Yes, we are there till 1 a.m.
Okay, and for the premiere proper?
Okay, so the premiere is on Friday.
When do the gates open?
So 7 p.m. again, and we are there till daybreak.
Right. Yeah. So quickly before we wrap up, any other movies to look out for?
All right, so Venom is coming up.
Yeah.
And guess what? Jim Ike is in town this weekend at the Silverbird Cinemas again. He has a movie, No Comments. So that is also premiering in Ghana on Saturday, 4 p.m. Silverbird Cinemas.
Just because you are mentioning Jim Ike's name and doing this, you have to bring him to the studio. Can you give us a promise?
Yes, bring him here.
Yes. You are mentioning his name.
I can give you a promise.
You can give me a promise.
On my honor.
We want Jim Ike.
Yes, I'll bring him here.
Big time.
Okay, this is a national celebration.
I'll bring him here.
Yes.
You can hold me to it.
We are holding. I can hold you. I can hold you.
I have a question.
Please shoot.
Because we're now so used to streaming,
yes.
Do you feel threatened that cinema is in any danger at all because of Netflix, Amazon, and stuff like that?
Well, it is. So whilst we were on lockdown, so to speak, most of these movies kept being pushed forward. But that notwithstanding, some movies were also released.
I'm excited.
Yes, on Amazon, on Netflix, and all that. But there are other movies you would never get on Netflix, Amazon, anywhere else. So Shang-Chi has been out for 3 weeks. You will not find it online anywhere. 007, you are not finding it anywhere.
It's only premiered in London, and the glitz and glamour.
So, come enjoy the Silverbird cinema experience again, and come smell the popcorn.
And bring us
Jim Ike.
Bring us Jim Ike.
Jim Ike, that's our promise for coming.
I am bringing you Jim Ike.
Thank you so much.
Right here on this.
One time on the yellow card.
And we get discounts.
All right.
Okay, so guys.
Okay, so an FA proverb to end.
Okay.
The Wotana Hafiwo Zona. You crawl before you walk. Enam is splendid. Great kings in the Bible relied on spiritual music for power and wisdom. As King Solomon David, wonderful encounter with a new crop. So shout out to Enam. Follow her. Don't just give her. Follow Enam music.
Stream her music. Stream her music. Happy birthday, Dr. Faisal Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Today's your birthday. Much love to you and the family.
Support Awake Purified Drinking Water. 1 peso from every bottle goes to the National Cardiothoracic Center. Happy World Heart Day.
And drink more water.
Drink more water. Make a drink.
Drink a lot of water and mind your business.
It's in the Bible. That's the Bible quote.
Where's that one do from?
Talk to your boyfriend. It's the derby, and they talk to my boyfriend. Oh.